What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kind of Funny's XCU in review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every single X-Men movie in the X-Men cinematic universe.
Wait, stop. How does Kevin look like an astronaut now?
In
what world does Kevin Coelho right now look like an astronaut?
It looks like you took the helmet out like like there's still like this fucking, you know what I mean?
You remember Neil Armstrong always wearing his frumpy hoodies and Ray-Bans and a backwards
Imagine a
hat.
big bowl and you go like and it slots into this big circle around his neck.
Yeah, one of those things.
I'm Andy Cortez, Kevin Coelho, Greg Miller, Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
This is a beautiful show that happens every Thursday, 9 a.m. on youtube.com/kindoffunny. You can also get it as a podcast on podcast services all over, including Spotify, including Beyond Pod, including Apple
Beyond,
Podcasts.
you made that one up. Beyond Pod?
Beyond Pod's a
You
thing?
made that up.
Beyond Pod's 100%.
What is that
thing.
for? What does that
It's
do?
a big
It's an
thing.
app.
A lot
For
of kids
who?
use it.
For those dumb kids out there that listen to use fucking Beyond Pod, there's
Big
probably like
dumb
7,000.
What is it on iOS or the Android?
Both, probably.
What?
He's saying
Apple
what?
Podcasts. It's on Google Podcasts as well.
No,
No,
but
he's-
where is Beyond Pod?
I think it's on both.
Yeah.
Beyond Pod is on Apple Podcasts? So I'm
No.
getting
No,
I'm using an app
it's
within
on
an
Apple
app.
App Store.
Yeah, you go to the App
Your
Store.
question was it? What's
It's like
app?
It's another method of
it's a
downloading.
different pocket. It's like Spotify. It's a different podcast.
Is it good?
I don't use Beyond Pod.
We're talking
everybody.
all about it a lot.
I don't know. It's
I feel
not
like it
the
makes
one
me
I
good.
use.
We
I
have
use
on
Pocket
Twitter.
Casts. You can use Pocket Casts and get our
Why
show
are you too
there,
good
too.
for Apple
This
Podcasts?
podcast is way better. Apple
I just
Podcasts
use
sucks.
Spotify. Spotify.
Everybody wants some fucking thing that'll suck their dick while they get these podcasts. All right, just get it
Jesus
delivered.
Christ.
Just get it delivered. That's
Oh
all
my
you gotta
God,
do.
dude, man, chill out.
Today we are reviewing. Today we are reviewing X-Men Apocalypse, the final of the X-Men movies so far with X-Men inside the end of the X-Men trilogy. When you look at this, besides Deadpool, it's a bunch of trilogies. We got the Wolverine trilogy.
Yeah.
We got the
Deadpool might
X-Men
be a trilogy. You don't know
Eventually,
that.
we'll get that Deadpool trilogy.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Disney got
somehow.
the keys now.
X-Force,
Wow.
Deadpool 3.
You know what I mean?
Deadpool 3 X-Force. I don't know what they'll call
See this
it.
new X-Force team they're putting together? I saw a comic cover. They got Wolverine on there, Psylocke on there. I was like, man, all right, I might
I
read
did
this.
not. Those two characters featured in
He's
this
back, huh?
Do you think
Spoilers.
this comic book will do Psylocke justice?
I think Olivia Munn knocked it out of the park with the podcast. We'll get there in a
So
second.
X-Men Apocalypse released on May 27th, 2016, which means I have never seen this movie because that was right around the day before Kind of Funny Live 2. So I just never got to
Well,
see
you
it
could,
until
but
last
I mean,
night.
you could see it.
Yeah, but then the time it passed me by.
No, it's
you know?
available once and that's it.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
I heard bad things about it, so I was like,
Yeah, this is my
one
question
day
to you.
I'll
Is like,
watch it.
so as an X-Men fan and as a comic book fan, how did you let this one slip?
It
Because
just
the
kept
Wolverine,
going.
I kind of understand because you're like, because after Wolverine Origins, you're like, I don't really want to see that movie.
We
in
all
the
love
theaters.
Hugh so much.
But coming off of Days of Future Past, which is actually pretty good, like I was jacked for this movie. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be really cool. Apocalypse, like one of the coolest characters from the cartoon series, super scary, very
80s.
tall,
Yeah, but
awesomely overpowered, really intimidating. How could they screw
Then
that up?
the first
I thought-
pictures of him came out, and it
Yeah.
was like, oh man,
Ivan
he looks
Ooze.
like Ivan Ooze.
My girlfriend made a great fucking
Tell me what Eve
What
Gilmore
Power
said.
Rangers?
what's the word
Bad
I'm
guy
looking
from
for
the
anyway?
Power
She was
Rangers.
like,
Joke?
she was like, he looks like
Comparison.
yeah, comparison. He looks like oh god, the dad in Arrested Development and
Jeffrey Tambor.
Jeffrey Tambor. And there was so many close-up shots. I was like, holy fuck, he looks like Jeffrey
Well,
Tambor.
They put like a big nose or something on him, right? Like that wasn't
old
Oscar Isaac.
fucking
That was
sauce.
Oscar Isaac.
yeah,
Well, they
he's
do
got,
that thing where I hate it whenever they
didn't
give a
look like
villain where
him.
they put the thing on there and they can't move their head.
Yeah.
So they're just like, I'm just like this.
I think I think
Kinda
that's
like
just his.
Kevin.
I think that's his nose.
that his original
Yeah,
nose?
exactly
His
like
real
Kevin. I don't know, man.
not
I watched this movie. I was expecting a total shit show, and I kind of didn't hate it.
Wow.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Directed by Bryan
Nailed it,
Singer.
right?
Budget of 178.8 million with a box office of 543 million. So a pretty significant step down from Days of Future Past that had 747. So a couple hundred million less.
Yeah, it's not
So
very
me and
good.
you are the only ones who didn't see it, right, Tim? Mm-hmm. Who just saw it
I had
yesterday.
never
Okay.
watched it. I watched the first like 2 minutes of it, fell asleep, watched the last 7 minutes of it, and was like,
So you got a pretty
you
good
got-
I don't-
You were like, I can't wait to
I
see how
don't
they get
need
here
to watch how
coherently.
they got here, you know?
Yeah.
I
I'm
can
sure
just
this will
tell.
all make sense when we watch it in one giant swoop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, before we get to the plot, like overall, what do people think about it?
So this is funny how we all have these. It's interesting. Thank you for bringing out Kind of Funny Live because I couldn't remember why this one didn't fall into us all watching it. I missed it in theaters, watched it on the back of a Virgin America plane, and by that point, this movie had already long ago been drug into the street, yelled at, spit on, and beaten to death with 2x4s. So like, man, this thing's gonna be awful. Let's see it for free here on Virgin Red. You know, remember when they used to have those? You had those like
the
main
preferred way
cabin
of seeing
select
yeah.
major
Yeah.
blockbuster movies.
And so I watched it, and I remember watching it on the plane, and being like, This wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I'm not coming out being like, wow, what a comic book movie. But I wasn't like, people made it sound like this was Spider-Man 3.
I think that's the problem with it, though, is that the expectations were so much higher than the other bad movies.
Well, you figure we just bounced back, right? We just bounced back from bad X-Men movies.
And you know, having Deadpool as well. It's like Deadpool, Days of Future Past.
They were on a tear for a while.
But even then, like First Class, it's like, you know, when people talk shit about Origins, when people talk shit about At Last Stand, it's like, okay, cool, that makes sense because that's the level we were playing at. This movie, I feel, is like a disappointment because we were playing on such a higher level and they failed. This was not a success, in my opinion. I think that it is a huge step down, even from First Class, where you watch it and you're just like, man, Days of Future Past was so ambitious, and we talked about last week with Deadpool, where it's like, Deadpool tried to do something smaller and it succeeded. Days of Future Past tried to do so much, and it's like, I give it a lot of credit because it really did have multiple storylines going on, and there was a good story there, and like when it ties into all the shit going on in the 70s, they did a good job. This movie, I feel like, was super light on story, and their whole thing of like, we're going to connect it to the 80s.
Let's go to a mall.
They say the word superpowers.
Yeah.
So let's latch into that. It was really awkward.
Yeah, I think that, Days of Future Past, you really get the sense that they just narrowly got by, where they were like, we just narrowly pulled this off. In this one, I don't know. It was just from the get-go a lot less ambitious. Like my biggest problem with this is it's very middle of the road, and it's largely due to the casting. It's not. I don't know. They cast Oscar Isaac, who is a great actor, and then he just doesn't. They don't give him anything to do.
Nothing to do.
He's not imposing at all. Like when he's walking around Egypt with Storm, and he's like and everyone's the same height, and he's just kind of like there.
I kind of like it, though.
He keeps just kind of appearing in the background. You're like, this is weird.
I like it. I mean, you figure for anybody, I know I'll get stabbed in the face, maybe by Tim Gettys on this one. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's how you stab with your claws. Oh my god,
this is Velociraptor.
I feel like a lot of X-Men characters fall into this trap where they look cool. But then I don't know, like when you're like, did they do Psylocke justice? Has anyone ever done Psylocke justice? Anytime I've ever seen Psylocke in a story, I'm not getting a great thing. And I'm sure there's great comics out there, Kevin. I'm not taking away from them.
Psylocke's pretty cool.
I like for Apocalypse I enjoyed the fact that, like, let's take the scene where he comes in the alley when they're chasing Storm, right? And he fucking just dissolves dudes, then puts the one dude in the wall, right? Like, I enjoyed the fact that those guys looked at him like, get the fuck out of here, blue clown. They called him a clown, right? Because they acknowledged that he could theoretically blend in with the thing over his face like Thor does in Ragnarok. And but it's that he just does all that stuff. He doesn't have to be intimidating the way he's like 90 feet tall or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but you contrast that with, and I hate to compare them because there's no comparison, but you contrast that to Thanos and how intimidating he is, and how even as a CG character, the Josh Brolin's voice acting and the things they give Thanos to do, the way he tricks people, the way he like I'll never forget that scene when they go to nowhere, and she's she thinks she killed him, and it just turns out the entire time he's already won. Yeah. And that's so fucking terrifying. Moment. And Apocalypse for me, and maybe I'm bringing in too much nostalgia in this, my touchstone for Apocalypse is the arc that they did on the 90s cartoon series. And he was absolutely terrifying.
Fucking awesome.
He was just unstoppable, just incredibly OP. Just like he had the Horsemen and no one could screw with this guy. And the way they got to him was that they had to figure out that one point where he was vulnerable, when he was doing the transition where they could go in and kill him and things like that. And in this point, he just didn't feel at all imposing. None of this. We're destroying the world in this way that doesn't seem to make any sense. Yeah. And then when we get to the end of it, the sad thing is, like, the Magneto character to me has always been the most fascinating character.
Yeah,
he's always
100%.
one that's most conflicted. And in this, he just becomes this bad, run-of-the-mill villain. Yeah. I'm just going to kill everything and use my power to destroy the world.
He starts from such a strong point in this movie.
Yeah.
His whole thing, right, is like awesome up until like probably he steps through the portal.
I hated the family stuff, man.
Really?
Just because it didn't feel earned. It's all. Like the sense of time that these movies,
how long has it been? That girl was like 10.
It's fucking weird, and it's like
they said it's decade, right?
80s.
Yeah, it was the 10-year anniversary of his speech.
He started having a kid right away.
He came back and immediately knocked somebody up. You know what I mean?
But like, that's weird. It's fucking very weird that from First Class to where we're at now with Apocalypse, there's like max 30 years, but at least 20 years.
Also, this guy fucking tried. This guy tore a stadium out of the ground, put it around the White House, and tried to kill the president, his entire cabinet, and a bunch of people, and nobody in this fucking small town recognizes him.
He had a beard and an accent.
And then changed his name from Eric to, what was it?
Heinrich.
Yeah.
Henry, I guess, I think, right? Henrik. Ridiculous. Oh my God. We didn't realize it was you. You've just been working next to us the entire time when all these news, like, it's the 80s. It's not like this town doesn't have some level of news broadcast.
Well, let's say maybe he didn't start there right away. All right, it's been 10 years. Let's say he starts there 3 years into his journey out there. Sure. You know what I mean? And so then, he's got the beard on or whatever. Yes, it does. He met the woman, told her who he was on day one. They've had a life. I didn't say she's been there the whole time. They travel log cabin to log cabin until they finally come across this steel working town over here in Sweden or wherever the fuck we are. Yeah. And they start eating with the officers, doing all this other stuff. Yeah.
He looks a little different.
It's thin.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel earned. When the kid dies, I'm just like, who
cares?
The kid and the wife had to die at the same time? Okay. And he's like, God, how have you forsaken me? And it's like, you're a bad guy, dude. You fucking killed a bunch of people. That's why.
10 years has just been living
a
that
normal
life.
dude, yeah.
Like, you do not go from the guy we saw in First Class, the guy we saw in Days of Future Past. Like, Days of Future Past, at the end of that, he is a villain.
Yeah.
He became a bad fucking guy that believes in what he's doing. You don't just fucking go to Russia.
You get the sense that he's going to make another fucking helmet and he's coming back at this. Which was like the only, in Days of Future Past, was like, if you let him take me, I'm as good as dead. And Charles is like, all right, just see you later.
That's first.
Like, that's.
Oh, yeah, that is Days of Future.
Dumb. No, you should be put in prison. You fucking tried to assassinate. You've killed countless people at this point. You're a fucking menace to society. You got to be put behind bars. Sorry. No, see you later, man. Because I'll see you in 10 years when you kill a bunch of cops. Yeah. Like, he killed a bunch of cops, and at the end, they're like...
That was a really fucking cool
it was a dope scene, but at the end, they're just like, hey, man, glad you came around to this. We're in this cool little town.
I mean, he must have
all right,
killed...
man, see you later. Where are you going to go? I'm going to fucking kill some more people. All right, cool. I'm going to train these people to stop you in another 5 years.
He for sure...
Statue of Liberty.
By the end, he's killed... Hundreds of people, thousands of people. Right. I mean, he's
he killed half of New York,
all the metal,
half of Cairo, half of every major city's gone. Were the people just like,
but
oh, thank God, we're all
duped.
good?
You know what I mean? Everybody gets a second or third chance.
Did he get duped?
Guys, you're spitballing stupid things here. I'm the son of Sam. I've been sitting here next to you this whole time.
We accepted you for that. I would not be surprised at all if you were killing people underneath your house. That's not a big deal.
Is that what son of Sam did? I don't even know.
Wasn't he the one that listened to his dog?
Yeah, he was the sniper, right?
Was he?
I'm
not doing that. I'd be better at Fortnite sniping if I was.
He was definitely listening to his dog.
Andy got 9 kills the other day.
I had a problem a couple weeks ago when we were talking.
You had a problem with the son of Sam?
No, with Days of Future Past when we were talking about the end of that movie and how I was like, there's no way it just wraps up where Mystique saved the president.
Mutants are okay.
Mutants are okay, even though mutants just fucking did this crazy horrible thing to the White House. And I feel like this movie just does an even worse job of handling that type of thing, of them destroying half the world in a CG fucking blender.
No, at this point, it would be all-out war against mutants.
And
if that's what they could do, they've already tried to kill the world twice now.
Apocalypse in this movie sucks ass, and his whole plan is weird, not very clear.
Doesn't make any sense.
And when you're watching it all happen, I'm just like, man, if for maybe the 10th time, the scales are the end of the world in this movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Apocalypse. It never really feels that way.
Not really.
You know?
Well, it's like when they cut to New York and like the bridges are being ripped in half and you see the cars, like, man, well, we're fucked. And then at the end when they're like, oh man, it all stopped and here's all these like fucking destroyed ships and destroyed. I'm like,
God heard our prayers.
New York's fucked. You're like, yeah, we're not coming. This is right to Sentinel territory of like fuck everybody.
But it all feels so generic, even though we keep cutting back and forth to the generic fucking control room. I'm like, who the fuck are these people?
Who are you?
Who are these people?
They are the chiefs of staff.
Hey man, he's talking about the whole world. Thank you for explaining
Joint
that.
Chiefs.
You showing me all the cities that are blowing up around the world, like, and with a little bit of a lower third, like I didn't grasp that this was a worldwide event that was happening.
He's getting all the metal out of the fucking planet, you know.
There's metal everywhere: iron, nickel.
I'm just saying, at this
metal.
point,
Cobalt. He says cobalt.
At this point, the argument of, hey, we understand there are bad mutants out there, but there are also good mutants that will stop those bad mutants. At this point, if I were human and not a mutant, I'd be like, they all have to die. We have to kill all of them.
What if they stopped them too late?
Just like, yeah, exactly.
They should have stopped them before
10 million people.
Yeah, all
like,
the metal is being ripped out of them. Everything.
I just feel like this movie, the sense of stakes is so fucking wild and off the charts and just in different places. And like a perfect example of that is they blew up the fucking mansion. Why? Why? For a very cool scene. For a very cool scene, but
only good to see the movie.
But why? Why the fuck did they do that? And then it's like
just for Quicksilver.
But then it's like, then we're just gonna rebuild it with Jean Grey and Magneto in the fucking dumbest, lamest. Like
I hated that so much.
Hey, they're working together. They're working together.
I wish I could get you to say.
Even when Quicksilver rolls up in the front, he like does this like thing at the. I'm like, what do you see? I don't see it. Like, what did you see of the explosion
He
already?
couldn't have seen it
Yeah, I know.
because it was in the
It was
basement.
in the basement.
Underground.
But he does one of these like, and I'm like,
He can see through buildings. This is other power. They
that's
never
not
disclose
the
that.
God.
X-Men, other
Yeah.
powers always.
He didn't see Havoc in the explosion, and well, he had to die.
Yeah.
he was first there. Oh, we don't even know.
Yeah,
You know
my,
what I mean?
my big problem with this
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
how they could be-
I feel like
What?
they just
Where?
that Apocalypse is a character that warrants more than one movie, and they were like, let's just
They
put him in one
doomsdayed him,
movie.
you know?
Yeah, they really did, and that's unfortunate because I think that
The one problem with Batman v Superman.
What a great
not
verb.
enough time for
Really
him.
like I feel like this movie could have been great if they had set it up over the last like 3. If they had set Apocalypse up over the last 20 movies, and then like had him actually come to fruition. But he just ended up being this really generic character, which is sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
And they had such a good character, and I feel like because of all the shit on him, and because of his weird like voice that they gave him.
No, I love that.
I loved it.
Did you?
I just
the,
love
like
that-
weird
but that's the,
robotic echo thing.
That's
where it's
the
like, what's
iconic
happening?
like that's
when
an
he gets
homage
pissed.
to the original series.
I
and
understand.
fucking love that.
But I just feel like it was done too much, or like it seemed like there
I
was
don't
a
think it was done
little
enough.
bit.
He was so subdued the entire time. Oh, like he has the one moment in the mansion where he grows big, and I'm like, he's supposed to be able to do that all the
That
time.
wasn't, but like that
He's
wasn't in
supposed to
real
be
life.
huge.
That was in
I know it's dumb.
Xavier's mind.
He's supposed to be able to just go do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck he wants and
To his body,
just
yes.
trash everyone that comes near him, and he just feels like we get a little bit of it at the end where Magneto's like, oh, I guess I'll be a good guy again. Which I'm like, okay. That's
I still think
Need an X.
I
was
still
like,
think,
that's kinda
despite what he was given, with the story that he was given, with the people put around him, I still thought Oscar Isaac did a pretty decent job. I enjoyed his performance.
Yeah,
I think
I-
you could have put anyone in
cannot
that
agree.
role, and it
Yeah.
would have been whatever.
Anyone in that role.
I
sure,
appreciated
but
the
he-
fact that he's so
anybody could have
powerful.
done
He most of the
mediocre,
time,
too.
except for like when he
That's
turned
what
the
I'm saying.
corner,
He did mediocre.
He doesn't raise his voice. You know what I mean? What you're saying of like the soft spoken thing. I thought that was a cool thing, and I did like the fact of him showing up, and even when the mutants are like not getting down with this shit, he's like, "You'll understand, children. Like I'm back, and I'm gonna fuck some shit up here."
It just, yeah, but I mean, there was like a thin line between like, is this guy just crazy, or is he really like
Is he
this
really
god,
God?
right? And like this person, who-
Rao.
I don't know. Again, I'm bringing too much of this. Has to be a modern interpretation, but I'm bringing way too much of the original series, like the cartoon series, in with me when I watch this because I'm like, oh, I remember when I was a kid, 13
Well, it
years
was a
old,
good story.
being really scared of
Would you
Apocalypse.
go as far as to say X-Men Apocalypse ruin your childhood?
Yeah, I would.
There.
I would say
Just making sure.
But I just think
that's two, everybody.
You have an actor like Oscar Isaac, and you just don't like. He's so they just didn't give him the opportunity to really shine in this. Like he's not good, and that sucks because everything else he's in, he's fucking phenomenal. And it's not his fault. It's just the fact that the whole thing was designed to just be this.
You know what it was? They didn't put that big fucking letter A on his belt.
would have been
If he had
cool.
that big letter A, we would have known who he was.
That's true. That's true.
Greg,
Yeah.
hit me with that plot.
Hey, everybody, let's journey back to ancient Egypt. Don't get any
favorite.
sand in your shorts, Andy. It'll be there forever.
It's hard to get it out of your crack.
While we're there, we got a guy named Apocalypse, right? We got all these fucking people. You look at the pyramids, they're all praying around him and doing all this shit. And it's like, man, there was a lot of people in ancient Egypt. You know what I mean? This is cool. They're saying something I can't understand.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, Temple of
Sorry, I
Doom.
apologize.
So, yeah.
Totally different culture.
They're saying his name, and Sub something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Why?
that's
How can I
dumb.
remember that? I'm so stupid.
Well, it's very well set up in the film prior, where they just showed him for 5 seconds.
Exactly. We go down into the basement of one of these fucking places, maybe the storm cellar. They got some jars of peaches over there. Grandma put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making preserves.
Prepare
you
for
know?
nuclear war.
You ever go to the middle of America and go into a basement? You're gonna find a whole bunch of fucking mason jars filled with fruit and shit. People are storing down there to be disgusting, but they are telling themselves they're gonna eat it because they're gross old people.
Isn't it for like winter?
If that's when they eat them.
I thought it was
I'll tell you
preparing
what.
for nuclear war.
No, I think it's for winter.
No. I went to Bill and Betty's house a lot growing up, and I never saw them eating any of this shit they had canned down there.
you eat it?
Right? No, fuck no. You kidding me? I just went down there and played with their dog, Gretchen. Gretchen, a lovable schnauzer.
Oh, great.
Now, also, what's worth pointing out about Bill was a fat man, right? Not like huge fat, but yeah, he was like old
Is he
man
your
fat.
grandfather?
No, this is Bill and Betty next door.
Okay.
Not like obese or anything, but he just had a pot belly. You know what I mean?
Big boy.
And what he told me at the time was he had ate a watermelon seed and had grown there, and I thought about it for a long time. I'll tell you what, that was
Did
a
it
fear.
fuck up you like eating watermelon?
Nah, he looked like a happy guy. He had Gretchen, Betty. It seemed like a
Gretchen's
good thing.
still alive, you think?
Oh God, no! I don't. Bill and Betty, I don't even think are still around.
Oh,
you know what I
shit.
mean?
Come
Yeah,
on.
no. Sad
And
story.
in fact, actually, Greg knows because those are the first two victims.
Gretchen talked to me, told me I have to can them. All right, so we're down there in the basement in ancient Egypt. You got
They're in the can.
Did you fire them or did you put them in a very large can?
Remember how this all started with the preserves, the mason
Gotcha.
jars.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
guys,
I
keep up.
apologize.
Fuck, you know what I mean?
I
Son
got
of
it.
Sam, by the way,
That was my fault.
would shoot
Berkowitz,
people.
David
Walked
Berkowitz.
around New York, shoot people.
Let's
8
see.
of them. 8 of them.
Again, not the flair the Grabbler would want. The Grabbler would want a lot of.
Serial killer too?
Well, I mean, that's my villain. That's my
No,
villain.
I
If I'm gonna be
understand
a
that, but I'm
villain.
saying, how far is he going? Does he show?
I mean, he's not
serial
above
killing?
kidnapping. We know that, and we've left it there canonically. We're in the basement in ancient Egypt. We got Apocalypse there. We got a bunch of fucking other mutants around here. They're called the Four Horsemen or whatever. It is revealed to us that they have some fucking poor sap who has regenerative abilities similar to Wolverine. It is revealed to us that they're going to transfer the consciousness of Apocalypse. I don't know why I'm staring so intently at Tim during this one.
You always do.
Yeah,
I like it.
I love you.
You can look
Keeps
at
me
me
in-
if you want.
It's revealed that
I
what
like
they're
it.
gonna
Go back to Sam.
they're gonna transfer Apocalypse's consciousness into the regen dude, and then the one lady's like, "You'll just fucking be perfect forever." You know what I mean? You'll live forever. You don't have to worry about it. We won't have to keep doing this fucking conscious transfer bullshit into mutants because apparently he remembers the mutant abilities he had before. We'll be told that later, but you kind of assume it.
Now,
Whatever.
I'm going to stop you here real quick.
Please do.
When they set up this, I had never seen this movie before, so when they say things, I start looking forward to the future,
Sure.
knowing shit that happens in other movies. They keep talking about this consciousness stuff, right? We've heard about it before in X-Men Last Stand, and then a bit later when we see...
When do we hear it? Like, when they transfer
when
Xavier's
Moira's
body.
involved,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Moira.
Moira. And then I see her in this movie, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna start to give that some context in the past of like her learning how to do that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they'll actually retcon and give a good reason for why Professor X can look like he
they don't
does.
give a fuck about.
But she
any
shows
of the
up, and I'm like,
movies.
oh, they're gonna do it. And I'm like,
No.
by the end of the movie, I'm like, not only did it not do that, why was she in this fucking movie?
So they
She
can
has
have that
no
moment
point.
where he's
Happy
like,
ending.
"I've given you
Yeah.
your memory back."
Yeah, that
Weird,
fucking
man.
bad fucking
Creepy
thing.
as
I
shit.
shouldn't have taken these to begin with. Yeah, no shit. I got married and divorced and had a kid, and apparently I
No.
probably loved you. Maybe I don't know.
But
fuck
he
knows?
needed to take those because otherwise the CIA would know about Xavier's school and shut that shit down.
Yeah, they knew
That's
that
the
anyway.
reason.
Maybe you
But they
trust
just ignore
Moira.
that.
Trust Moira.
No, you can't.
Why
The
not?
CIA does some
Moira.
fucked up shit, man.
Nah, they don't know. Back in the 60s, they didn't know anything. They're like, we're going to put a cigarette on you. They didn't have like fucking truth serum and shit.
They're like, well, it didn't work.
Get a bigger cigarette.
Somebody give me some Pall Malls.
Also, why don't even think about it. You got to when you watch this
Don't
movie.
even think about it.
When you watch this movie.
I'd say I like we're recording this earlier in the day than we normally do.
I'm telling you, man.
Still is daffy.
I know, I'm better than ever. We have to record these.
You're the best. Tim.
We have to stop recording things in the afternoon, or at least not Friday afternoons, because I'm fucking on fire today. All right,
You're already
Zach
pressing.
Wenzel's out there. I hope he's got his fucking digital pen ready because I'm ready to give him some fucking doodles.
Too much good stuff.
That's what he's gonna write. Anyways, you're playing it wrong, Tim. Since Days of Future Past, that siren's on our end. You have to watch these movies understanding that nothing
Logic is out
happened
the
anymore.
window.
Nothing's happened after anymore. We're just going forward, right? Days of Future Past reset the timeline going forward, so the McAvoy world
here's
is the
the
only
thing.
world building the
I
future.
thought so.
So don't worry about why Moira is going to learn something that would apply to X3.
You
X3
would
doesn't
think
so,
in the
right? But
other world.
at the end of Days of Future Past, we get Stryker taking Wolverine out of the fucking water, and then it turns out it's Mystique. And you're like, oh, maybe he doesn't do it. No,
I
still Weapon X,
explained
still
that
everything.
to you. I explained that last week. Does no one listen to the show but my boy
I heard.
Andy?
What did
okay.
you explained it. That doesn't make it make sense.
You know, just fill in some of the gaps. It's already different, right? Weapon X is in a containment unit and he's just stuck there, right? You're like, oh, that's different, isn't
Instead
it?
of
Isn't
volunteering.
it? Isn't it?
It was different.
I had
Thank
that
you.
toy as a kid.
Yeah, me too. I love that one. I love
Yeah,
that one. That's
fuck
a
it. I got
great
it for my
toy.
birthday,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't even think I read X-Men at the time, but I had it.
And a friend of mine who had the same birthday as me, Rogelio Rodriguez, I went to Rogelio's birthday at Peter Piper Pizza, and I brought the toy
Shut the
with
fuck
me.
up. Rogelio Rodriguez at Peter Piper's Pizza.
Yeah, and he got the same fucking toy. And so we had the same fucking, I was like, damn.
Wait a minute. You brought your toys out?
Well, he had the same birthday as I did. We were both February 16th. Now, however, I had my birthday like
Story seems
prior to
false.
that.
Wait. Why
story seems made up.
Why do you leave your house with your toys?
I used to bring it actually
why
fine.
are you getting? why
Okay,
are you
Peter
getting-
Piper Pizza was like across a few blocks away.
Uh-huh.
So I walked over there
How
with
old are
my
you?
toy.
How old are you?
Oh, like maybe 10 or 11. around there. So I took the toy with me to be like, here's the toy I got for my birthday.
Yeah.
Everybody, my birthday was a couple days, in hopes that maybe these random relatives would give
give
me
you more
toys too.
toy?
Yeah.
Oh, it's your birthday. Here's some more extra tokens. Go
Yeah,
play some
exactly.
things.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, Andy, they have the same birthday, February 16th.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll
What's up,
you
Roy?
up
How you
this
doing, man?
pizza.
It's the Grappler.
I want you to, in this,
We're in the basement. Ancient
in
Egypt.
this narrative, I want to be your fucking grappler sidekick.
We'll look into it.
Grappler with the B.
Yeah, get it right.
Grappler.
Get it right or pay the price.
Come up with a cool sidekick name for me.
Okay, I'll think about it for a little bit. But by the end of this, we'll have it Stogie. Sidekick Stogie. Grappler and Stogie.
Look the other way. The grappler grabs you.
Are you a 90-year-old father?
Well, you call me Stogie. How many fucking 12-year-olds you see smoking stogies?
Why are we 12? It's a contemporary villain story.
That's fair.
In the basement. They say they got the boy, they're going to do this. They transfer the consciousness into Apocalypse. Great. The process begins. It's very much like everything we know, transferring between hard drives. You watch a little progress bar happen.
Transferring.
Things are lighting up.
Hideo
Transferring,
Kojima.
right? We cut outside. Earlier, there was these two shifty guards, and they did like one of these things. So like opening their hand and like looking around a little bit.
cool, man.
And then finally just, there's like, close the hand. It's happened. Bah! And they pull down these things. And they hit these giant mallets, and it's like fucking Temple of Doom or Fireball Island. And these things start sliding down. It's like Mousetrap. And they slide in there, and they hit up. Apparently, pyramids are held up by like two beams, and they fucking knock those
They
motherfuckers
clearly
out.
planned this.
pyramid
They
scheme.
planned this from the beginning.
And it's like, oh my god, fuck, it's all coming down. It's like the four horsemen are like, ah.
Aziz Ansari, man.
We had that when Apocalypse built his pyramid, as we saw him doing at the end of the last movie, he decided to put these two monumental design flaws into it. Just these tunnels that lead right to the fucking stilts that hold this whole thing up.
It was more. I think it might have been to capture bad guys at the time. If you know what I mean. He didn't think it'd be used against him.
Yeah.
What if there was
He
like?
has no idea that people are plotting against him.
They were like, he's right there, get him. And they just, they smash him against the fucking wall.
bad guys are looking up.
Nor do I think he'd expect anybody to want to plot against him just because he's like, I'm this all-powerful dude.
I'm good.
Like, who's going to want to
I'm
fucking
good,
I
do
dude.
totally
me?
get that.
I don't
but then
think he
why,
built these.
What were the? Well, no, we see him at the end of the other one.
Yeah, I know, but like
And the fucking
that
things are all
doesn't
going
mean
in the
shit. Like he was also like a 10-year-old boy when we saw that.
Yeah, that's what he got transferred in. He got transferred.
Someone has to get
definitely
born.
built the pyramid because it has all that cool circuitry and shit in it. Like, and we see him rebuild it in the future. Like, that's one of his powers. is he can take the sand and make it into cool
when it
shit.
gets rebuilt in the future, it looks totally different.
Yeah, 'cause he uses
Made out of,
metal.
yeah.
instead of sand. All he had
The
was sand.
things go, they hit the thing. Oh, fuck. All the four horsemen are like, oh, this is fucking bad news. They're fighting guards. Shit's popping off. There's one blonde-haired woman. She's like, this ain't going the way we want it to.
Yeah.
I'm going to make some kind of mutant cocoon around a big old apocalypse over there,
This
right?
little fight scene, I thought was really fucking.
Parts of it were dope.
It was
One of them
insane
has the
how
power to,
intense
like,
it was.
Pull the person up,
snap
break
them
their
into-
bones.
Oh, yeah, like,
Yeah, he
yeah, put him into a little ball.
Yeah.
Fucking
Insane.
cool.
It was.
Yeah.
You do get an impending sense of doom though when the guys like when the things are coming and the two guards in the room. Instead of running out the door, they slide like they close the door and turn around like
Fucking
they're like
cool.
we're not leaving this fucking
Yeah.
room alive. It doesn't
Fucking
matter,
cool,
but no
yeah.
one's leaving it. That was really cool. That was well done.
Very
It
cool.
was so violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
The
they
other guy
all
the other
like
guys
show
get
off
their
their
fucking face
faces
melted off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal.
She makes her little cocoon. Shit starts collapsing down. In her final moments, she doesn't protect herself. She protects Apocalypse. She breaks her back, but she finishes off. Hooray! Everything collapses upon itself.
Falls on her.
There you go. That's fucking Egypt for you. You know
We
what I
get
mean?
the theme song. Give me the theme
But
song.
But where were they
Dang.
falling through?
It sunk into the ground.
Oh, they also did the Fox theme, by the way, which I
Yeah,
like.
Yeah.
But this was cool because instead of doing like all the circuitry and shit, they always have a unique look to it. This kind of went through the ages of technology, where it went from like ancient Egypt, and then you see some World War I biplanes and shit and all that stuff. And then it goes in, and we're finally
There's
caught
a
up to like
train.
we caught up to the X-Men logo. It was like,
Okay, real quick though. I thought they were like in free fall from somewhere.
No,
They
yeah.
were.
It must have been built over a pit. You know.
Well, that's why those
all
stilts
these
were there.
pyramids, man, ready to just
They're all hollow inside.
straight down.
yeah.
Okay.
They
So
usually-
they were in the basement, then there was like
usually-
even further for
Yeah,
them to fall.
yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
very much like an Easter bunny. You know what I mean? When you crack that fucker open, it's just all hollow inside, and that's what a pyramid's like.
I was imagining an Easter bunny.
The buddy himself.
Yeah.
When the engineers decided to build the pyramid, they look for the deepest, darkest hole to build it over first.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Just in
Fuck,
case.
there's a sinkhole. We'll
Lots
cover it
of
up with a
secrets
pyramid.
down
Put a
there.
pyramid on it, man. That's the best way to sync it up.
I think from here we jump into the 80s, everybody, and we're off to wherever the fuck.
Scott Summers
they're all
is?
no, I don't think so. We start I thought with Mystique, right? Where we go in and it's
Berlin.
it's the old
Berlin.
Angel. Angel's here again. Forget everything you knew. Just forget it.
it's
The
all
timeline's
different
been
Angel.
reset. Now we have Angel, and he's here in the 80s, and he's in this electrified cage, and he's kicking the shit out of everybody. Awesome. Very shades of the Wolverine. You remember him.
From X-Men 1.
Exactly.
That we saw many moons ago.
And everybody's like, wow, this Angel guy's fucking cool. He's fucking killing people. Neat. And mutants are fighting for our amusement. Neat. And then like fucking Jennifer Lawrence comes in. She's like, this ain't neat. You know what I mean? I've been
I'm
thinking about
80s
this.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I look just like 70s Jennifer Lawrence with a different hairdo.
She
I'm
ages
definitely
very
not
slowly.
10 years fucking older.
Hey,
She ages
Mystique.
very slowly. They said that
Mystique,
in
okay,
one.
fine.
Or maybe
You're
she
right.
just made
You're
herself
right.
look like a younger, same age person.
Exactly. Remember,
right.
she's focusing her powers here. That's also how she could catch a barbell if she wanted to. Fucking these movies. They're like, all right, well, if you got to fight an angel, we need a devil. Here it is, Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler pops out. He's young. And young Nightcrawler, oh my god, he tries to bamf around a bit, but it's electrified walls. He falls down. Angel's like, we got to fucking fight her. They're just gonna kill us anyway. Machine guns everywhere. You got something to say?
It's just funny that like they made up this random rule. It's like, well, powers don't work if you've got a metal grate that's been electrified. Like, why
That's a
couldn't
good
you
point.
just? Why couldn't you just
Bamf out
outside?
yeah, that's a great
But,
point.
like,
Actually.
no. Also later, Jean Grey can't use her psychic abilities.
that I was like, okay, they've
And
done
it's like,
something.
that-
Stryker knows how to
No,
negate.
it was the same. It was a gate. It was a metal gate. That was,
Well, yeah, but remember, they got in the helicopter.
Yeah, but
and-
the Metal Gate was green, though. That was the
Yeah,
thing.
you're missing the point. One was blue, one was green, one was not.
no, you guys are talking about the laser grid.
No,
when they were in there,
the
no?
helicopter it goes, poof, and like they had some sort of field that dampens powers.
was just a Faraday
That's what they like.
gate
But the
with
other thing
the
was ridiculous because
cage.
you were like, how would they know to make that cage for night? Like it would be for Nightcrawler, right? Because
No, I mean,
Angel,
it's
for
I
any
guess it was.
I don't think it
electrified.
works
That
for
makes sense.
any mutants, which is insane. It doesn't make any sense because some powers, I feel like there's definitely a mutant that's like,
Just
I'm
explodes.
immune to electricity.
Yeah,
You
weird.
know?
I don't know.
They fight for a while. They bounce around. There's some cool stuff here. Of them jumping on each other, doing shit. You know what I mean? And then
Cool fight scene.
Yeah. Eventually, Nightcrawler just fucking punts Angel over to the electrified fence. It zaps and like bug zaps his wing or whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm Angel," and he falls
really
down. And
painful.
everybody's like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened? How'd that possible?" Meanwhile, Jennifer Lawrence has been all upstairs being sexy and like being sexy to the guards and being like, and then like kicking them and shit. And then she gets in there and then she overloads the power grid. And that blows out the power grid. And then they're like, let's fucking bounce, everybody. And so bam, bam, bam. He bounces out there. We just leave Angel. Who the fuck cares? Jennifer Lawrence catches Nightcrawler. She's like, we gotta get out here. He warps him outside. Great. There's people running around. Jennifer Lawrence pretends to be one of the guys who just ran by and he's like, over there, over there. And they're like, oh, fuck, we gotta go over there. They run over there. And then Jennifer Lawrence is like, all right, cool. We gotta get out of here, Blue Man.
Which version did you all watch? Did you watch the Will.i.am cut?
I didn't see the
What?
one.
Yeah.
There's a Will.i.am
Yeah,
cut?
because Will.i.am pops up in this part when he's in the alley with them.
Yeah.
He's like, "What's up, cool cats?" And they like disappear somewhere.
Oh, wow.
There's
That's
a lot
awesome.
of different storytelling elements with the Will.i.am cut.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really
He's
good.
joking. It's not real, Kev.
Wait, for real?
Oh my god, I wanted that to be real so badly.
Because
I
he
was like, I gotta
died
go back
in
and watch
another
the
movie,
Will.i.am
you know what I
cut.
mean?
No, the path future's different.
From here, we jump
That
to
movie was before
America,
this.
where a young Scott Summers has eye problems in his fucking classroom. He's like,
Oh, they burn.
and then the teacher,
He fucking nailed it, though. Being
Ali
young,
Sheedy.
Ali
dumb
Sheedy.
James Marsden.
Ali
Didn't
Sheeting
catch
is
that
there.
in the first one. I was like, hey, shout out to Ali Sheedy, man. What's
Fucking
up?
short circuits Ali Sheeting in there, and she's like, "What is there a problem?" Well, Mr. Summers is looking, and it looks like he's winking at a girl, and then the guy's like, "And then you winking at my girl?"
man.
He's like, "Poof, my girl."
Clearly,
hold on.
I'm having a problem with my fucking eyes. I'm you looking at my girl, man.
But he says something that
like, my
he
eyes really
repeats the
fucking
"my
hurt.
girl" line as a comeback, reminder of X-Men in a different universe
like,
where
"You
he
look
would have said that
old as
different
fuck."
timeline. You know what I mean? He's like, I go to the bathroom, and the bitch teacher's like, okay, maybe you could also stop by the principal's office and explain why you're disturbing my class. And I don't understand what that
eyes
was going to
burn.
be. Yeah, exactly.
My
I would go
eyes
back and be like,
burn.
I'm having an eye problem, and she
Yeah.
thought she's a
Look
fucking
into them
jerk.
deeply.
But you get
You know?
the sense that Scott Summers is
He's
kind
a
of
known dick.
a known asshole.
Sure. Well, now he's
Yeah.
going to have his own problems because he goes to the bathroom, walks in there, he's like, no, and then the other guy's like, Scott Summer, and he goes in the shitter and he sits down, and he locks the
He goes-
door.
and then the guy just fucking hits the door excessively long.
It's so annoying.
He's a
yeah.
bully. He's a bully.
yeah, the weird
I thought
shit
he was
do,
gonna
man.
pound it hard, like
Yeah.
Goo,
Give
like
it one
elbow
solid
it,
kick.
it.
Don't just kind of like.
He doesn't want to break property.
He's
He's just a
He's
dick.
like a cat.
Also,
Making
if he
bread.
broke it right now, in moments he would be dead. You know?
Great point.
So they
The
had
door
to keep the
saved his
door
life.
there.
So what happens, of course, is Scott fires off a concussive blast of red energy from his red
Is
dimension.
it though? Is it? I mean, this particular time.
it does, and then he shoots up, and then there's a scorch marks. So as usual, what the fuck, Cyclops powers? Nobody knows.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, here we
I
go.
had the same thought.
Yeah.
But then he does it to the tree also, and it kind of catches
tree
fire.
catches fire.
But like when things create friction with other materials,
it would make warmth.
Yeah, you would.
No, man.
Will it? Let's go.
No.
Science with Kev.
Kevin, I'm going to pose a question to you. A
They
theorem, as
fucked
they say.
it all up, is what I'm saying.
If a fast-moving beam of energy was moving fast, would
A
it
concussive
create
beam.
what does that mean, though? What does that mean?
Would it
Does
create
anyone understand what a
energy
beam of
particles
energy
would create some level of friction against
concussive beam?
against the surface? Would they not?
They shouldn't.
It's like when you rub two sticks
kinetic
together.
energy.
It's not.
transfer.
No, it's not.
It is like two sticks.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Is this science with Andy?
I'm taking over this shit.
I feel like
I think things have been really clear. It's not supposed to be fire, and in this particular time, I didn't see fire. When we look up, I thought it had like ripped it up, and I was like, all right, that looks
Yeah, I
right.
thought it was just
Later,
concussive.
when he shoots the tree, there's clearly fire, and there's once more there's
But
fire
I feel like
again.
if it were made of fire, the whole thing would have incinerated. I feel like Andy's right, where it is just a concussive blast that creates so much friction that occasionally it smolders a little
It depends on what it's
sticks.
hitting.
But I also want it noted for anyone listening who can't watch, this is my favorite thing that happens. Me and Kevin start talking, Greg rescinds back and starts Googling something. You know something good's coming. I don't know what it's going to be, but oh no.
I'm just trying to. I'm trying to figure it out. We've for 9 weeks now we've argued about this, and I'm just trying to figure out what Wikipedia says. And it's like optic blast, sure. Appearance of red light and deliver massive
just a-
concussive force.
Yeah.
But then they do this thing
Light,
here.
man. It's
The
laser.
beams fire from these openings. The beams cause recoil or heat, are tremendously powerful, and can be used to rupture steel plates and pulverize rock, or
We
even
looked into this.
I mean, here's the thing.
Back
in
X2.
But things have
X-Men
changed.
Ultimate.
Tim. Things have changed now.
Tim, in X-Men Ultimate, they produce heat because they melt fucking Wolverine.
X-Men. Oh, Ultimate. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ultimate Comics.
The Ultimate Comics.
They fucking melt
right.
that
So
X-Men Evolution.
Spoilers.
I watched episode 1 of that last
Well,
night.
there you go.
was it good?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? Is it a cartoon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
X-Men Evolution was like the 2003 cartoon, like sequel-ish to the animated series.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch Wolverine and the X-Men?
No.
I think you'd like it. It's only one season, but it's a really cool concept.
So what'd you get? Did you get anything out of that?
That's all I got. He blasts the fucking guy, blasts the fucking thing, blasts the fucking school. Holy shit, he Cyclops everybody. If you didn't know, ding, ding, ding. Here we go, big guys.
Science with Kev. Forgot
Now
the
let's
outro.
jump over to see old Magneto. He's working in a steel plant. His name's Henrik. We think, right? Is that what we came down to?
Henrik.
Heinrich.
No, it's just Henrik.
He's just there. He's just being a normal old blue collar dude, moving shit around. He's there. They're doing stuff. He leaves. He said goodbye to his friend who he talks to all the time, Moises or something. I think.
Let's go with Moises.
Moises Alou.
Alou?
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa.
Then he goes home to his little
Houston Astros?
log cabin over there, and guess what? Everybody, you walk in there. He's got a wife he loves very much, who seems very nice.
Everything's
He's got
going
a
great.
daughter upstairs
What
he
could
loves
go
very
wrong?
much.
You're an international terrorist. Everyone knows what you look like.
He
What could
goes.
possibly go wrong?
He's like, "Where's my daughter?" And the woman's like, "She's out back with her friends. She's out there, fucking Snow White and this stuff. You know what I mean? There's just fucking people. There's deer all over the place."
Yeah, fuck you. I hated it. Not you. Whoever
The king
made
can
this.
talk
thing.
to
That seemed really
animals.
aggressive. I was like,
Singer.
damn, he didn't earn
I
that.
hated that.
He didn't
He's
earn
like,
that.
She's just chilling with these fucking deer.
That's her power.
Yeah, her power is.
He's got
I
metal.
understand that.
She has powers. Tim.
Who is she? Have
Birds.
have we
Forget
ever heard
everything
of
you
her?
know.
She talks to
She's some
animals.
sort of beastmaster, right? That's
Doesn't
clear.
matter.
I like it. That is, you're right, Greg. You're right. Forget everything you know.
Just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Have we is she from comics anywhere? Or?
Yeah, so in the comics, she has a slightly different name. Like in
Squirrel
the
Girls.
movie, her name's something like Lena, but in the comics,
Nina,
her name's
right?
Nina. Maybe it's backwards. Whatever the fuck.
In this timeline, it's the same girl who turns into crystals, but this is another one of her powers.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes a lot
Diamond
of
Girl
sense.
who can read minds talks to animals
Shout out
too.
to Magneto.
She was already
Just
in this timeline.
being
Remember
a
Days of
total
Future Past?
deadbeat
No.
dad.
What are you
You know,
talking
just
about?
putting kids all over the world, not really giving a fuck, and this
left
is the
and
one
right,
he cares
man.
about.
Just left and fucking
Yeah.
right.
Fucked up,
The
man.
Quicksilver
He's got
storyline's
like 8 kids.
interesting and weird. I
Well,
wish
he
I knew
didn't
more
know.
about
He
that.
didn't know. Quicksilver.
Yeah, it's
He didn't know
interesting.
about
I'd like
that.
to
He
know
does.
more about that.
No, he doesn't.
What?
At the end of his, he still doesn't know that Quicksilver is his kid. Remember?
No, sorry. Quicksilver knows.
Oh, Quicksilver. Got it. I was talking about
Superfluous. Back on track.
Forget everything you know.
Forget everything you know. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm not sure if it is. He puts her to bed and sings her a song, and it's very sweet. She's like,
Great
"What's that
singing voice.
song?" And I fucking learned it from my parents. They learned it from their parents. They learned it from their parents. And one day you'll learn it and teach it to your kids. She's like, And then he's like, "What happened to your parents?" And he's like, "Motherfucker, Kevin Bacon ate him or something."
Something like that.
No, it was his time.
Nazis
And
killed
so
him.
he opens the little locket that's around her neck with the parents, and that's great and cool. All right, that'll come back into play later, I'm sure. We go from there. Where where do I want to
Cairo,
take you?
Egypt, maybe?
Do I want to take you back? Do I want to take you to Egypt
Well, we
already?
got the Moira thing where I think that happened before this. Where
Yes, we go there, and Moira McTavish is
Super
there, and
secret
she wants
CIA
to
agent
buy a
Moira.
rug. But she doesn't want to buy a rug. She just wants to fuck everything up and go down there, and you have to ask yourself, if she didn't move the rug, would the light have ever hit the temple? And if it hadn't hit the
Definitely
temple,
not.
we wouldn't have had this whole problem.
So she's walking around like all hidden and stuff, and like it's obvious that they're like building to this reveal of her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is it?
I knew it was her.
Really? You didn't know it was her?
I was like, who the fuck? Who? A woman? Like what?
You're
woman
talking
do we
about
not
after the
know?
reveal, or when she's walking around? You're like, who's this going to be?
Walking around like you don't see her, and then when she took it off, I'm like, they brought her back.
Yeah.
Like why?
Sure did.
So she that dope ass chop to that guy's neck and knock him out.
She
That
knows
was a
karate
fucking-
now, man.
She
You
goes
see that?
down
It's just,
there, a bunch of morons are praying to the temple topper. Great. And then the sun comes through and just fucking hits the temple topper. And guess what, everybody? Apocalypse starts shaking. He wakes up down there and he's like, what the fuck? Where's that blonde woman? What year is it? Ah, fuck, I got this thing on top of me. And so he just expands his little mutant cocoon and blows it up. And then everybody's trying to run out. And then those guys die. Moira should die, but she doesn't somehow. Those guys fucking
She
kill.
ducks, bro.
Sure, okay.
She like fell up the little tunnel she was walking.
Yeah.
We're like just 10 feet lower. Those guys
They all got
pulverized.
incinerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucked up.
See, I don't know if we were here yet because this causes an earthquake that's around the world and felt
Yeah.
everywhere.
Then we go
and
back to
everything else.
Eric.
Yeah, he feels it. Yeah, but doesn't this tie
That's
in?
what causes the thing to drop. In the thing, and he saves the guy, right? And
Yeah.
then he puts it back and goes back to work like no one saw him, even though clearly
Yeah.
every single person saw
But
him. At this point, you
Do
feel
we
like,
not
we
go
gotta-
back to Scott Summers
Yes,
getting
thank you.
delivered
This
by...
is my point. This
You're
is my
right.
point.
I fucked
I
up.
was right.
I fucked us.
Nick was wrong, and everybody wants to stop this fucking train.
Was it
This
Scott
train?
and
Do me a
Havoc
favor.
hanging out?
Do me a favor, Tim. Reach over there to the train controls and break off the brake because this train don't stop no more. Throw it at Kevin now. Oh, no, the
Throw
tracks
it at
can't
me.
stand this. All right, so yeah, back in good old USA, Havoc shows up. This fucking piece of work, and
Got
he's
hair,
like,
though.
"Oh, I got my long hair now. Blah blah blah. Mom, Dad, get some more light than we thought." And Scott, you got fucking weird eyes, and they just put a fucking
First confirmation they're brothers.
yeah, they put a fucking rag over his goddamn eyes and think that's gonna solve all the problem.
got
Let's
his eyes
take him
closed, he's
over to
fine.
the gifted school for youngsters over there, Xavier's mansion. We get there and groovy baby. Xavier's hair is there and it's got flock of seagulls things going
Beautiful,
on.
fucking
Fucking
great. I love the
beautiful.
style of this movie. I will say that. That's one of the things that I looked forward to watching again was just the sheer audacity of all of the shoulder pads in this movie. And they're
Beast
great.
is there, and I'll tell you, he's matured into a fine young man. He, and when he was a kid, I wasn't a big fan. Now I'm on board. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. Like over the movies, he's definitely earned his place. I liked him in this, and I feel like he was probably the only character that looked like he aged. Like, and especially in beast form, like when he's blue,
Yeah.
he seems like an older blue guy.
Yeah.
Like he
Did they
seems closer
change
to
the
Kelsey
shade
Grammer.
of blue though? I feel like
He's
Shades of
less
blue.
blue.
I felt like Mystique was
Yeah.
way bluer than you know.
I thought he was way bluer too, like lighter blue instead of a darker.
maybe
blue.
that's how he ages. Forget everything you know.
Or maybe they thought,
everything
let's
you
make
know.
him look better this time around.
Yeah,
Not
maybe
even
they put some of the
better.
budget to that.
I think it looked a little bit
Beast
better.
talks to Havocs. They keep walking Scott around. He's all like, "Oh, I can't see. I got a cloth on my face." He bumps into Jean Grey right
A
away.
lot of making him walk around, by the way.
We'll get to that.
For a dude that can't see.
I understand walking him into the house, sure. Then he bumps into Jean Grey. He's kind of an asshole to Jean Grey, but Jean does all the power stuff and stops it. And then she's in his head. She can already see everything. And she can't control her powers. Oh my God, I'm Jean Grey. My life sucks.
Now, what did you guys think of her as Jean Grey?
You know,
Sophie
I
Turner,
don't
right?
like when we get too into the whole accent thing of like, oh, it's a horrible accent, whatever. It was very weird hearing her not sound British.
But there was times where we did hear her sound a little British.
I didn't notice.
In that first interaction when they're talking, I was like, did she forget her accent? Like,
I thought that she was a lot better than Dakota
Frankie
Johnson
Jansen?
or whatever the fuck her name
Famke
was.
Janssen.
Yeah, Famke
Yeah.
Janssen.
I think she was a lot more she's a lot more accessible. I think like she has a lot more of human qualities. I always felt like Famke Janssen was just like this blank sort of like styrofoam. And I mean maybe it's just because we're all responding to Sophie Turner from seeing her in Game of Thrones for so long, but I thought she was a lot more like humanized in this role.
I just wish, like many of the characters in this movie, I wish that they just had more development and more
Yeah.
time to
Yeah.
like be a character and not just like go from point A to point B so quickly.
That was my thing. I don't watch Game of Thrones really, right? So I have no like attachment to her from that. I didn't love her in this. You know what I mean?
neither.
Like and it was that thing I think is what you're talking about. It wasn't a performance as much as it's just like I'm Jean Grey. I'm the most powerful mutant. Everybody's scared of me, and I have powers I can't control. All right, then at the end, I'm Phoenix. Blah. Like, Jesus. All right,
I feel like that's all we get from her. Like, for how prominent and important Jean Grey is.
Yeah.
Really, in these movies, all she is I really can't control my powers. Phoenix.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Which is sad too, because when you think about her and her other role, and I hate to bring up Game of Thrones, but the character arc that she has in that is so unbelievably good, and it's so earned. And when you get to the end of it, you're like, God damn, but we have 6 seasons to develop that, right?
feel like
This we had like 16 minutes.
There's that 8 movies.
And we could have had more because this was 2.5 hours long.
It was really long.
Now, here's what I'll tell you.
I never felt like a drag though.
Thank you.
Oh, I
when
did.
I started this
never
movie,
felt
when
like
I
it.
did the same thing I do every, I'm like, oh my God, it's a 2.5 hour movie. Like, God, I'm not going to be able to play anything after this. I started it, and I think it's because I feel like with Days of Future Past, which I enjoyed but was long, this one I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. And by the time I was like, fuck, we're wrapping up. I was like, wow, this actually, I thought, went at a good clip, and I didn't get bored and start wandering.
Yeah.
Anything with Apocalypse, any of the Egypt stuff, any of that, I felt
For
was
me,
so.
The Apocalypse stuff, the only moment where I was like, I felt like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is great, he's great, yada, yada, yada. The only one where I was like, this is weird all overall was like terrible CG where it was them on top of the mountain or overlooking Egypt and like fucking Psylocke's standing there and Storm standing there and he's like, I'm going to do all this stuff. Charles, I'm like,
the
"That's all
rocks
just
were
green."
clearly
Yeah,
props.
This is all
That happened, and I looked over at Gia and I was like, this is my least favorite thing about superhero movies is, let's get all the bad guys together and they're going to be fucking cool and just posing, like doing bad supervillain poses. And the CG was horrible, and this is where we're going to get the evil monologues, and they go back to that scene like 3 times.
I
And
agree.
It's never good.
Back at the mansion, though, we have Scott Summers getting walked around. Yeah, we walk him into Professor X's class. There's Jubilee. Neat, everybody. Jubilee's here. Awesome. We'll talk about that. Never. Now,
Jubilee just never gets anything to do.
Her
ever.
fourth
Her powers
appearance
suck.
in these movies, every time different actress.
yeah. Now we're going to walk around. We're going to talk to you, Scott, about your abilities and how you should go to school here. And yes, what we're going to do is walk you around outside. Okay, I understand you're taking us, I think, to the target. Okay, but it still plays weird in the beginning of like, hey, we're just... I can't see, guys. Can we just sit down and talk this out?
All I
No.
wanted was Havoc to just fucking blast him like in the back and shoot him to where he needed to go. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
well, sure,
we need
yeah.
you in that
Little push.
hallway. I don't want to walk you. Just fucking let me belly blast you all the way to the end.
I don't think that would feel.
So we walk him there. Yeah, Jean Grey's doing archery. All right, whatever. They stop that from happening, and he's like, just take off your fucking things and do it. Hit the target, hits the water, hits the shore, hits the target, then cuts the tree in half and leaves it there. And Xavier's like, well, my grandfather's favorite tree. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I guess I can. No, you're enrolled.
Yeah, enrolled. Okay, cool. Like, did I want to be at the school? You're not really.
You have no
selling me on
choice.
this. You just
So
walk in a
he's
blind
enrolled,
man
not
rush.
great. Okay, cool. And then, we went back. Apocalypse wakes up. He caused an earthquake. Everybody feels it. It's the thing that the metal pot of like liquid metal almost drops on the dude. Magneto stops it. Great. Yeah, no, that's good. Then we go back here. Yeah, everybody in the school feels it. They come out, and then it's on top of that happening. Jean Grey's having a nightmare. Beast is like, I'm just standing around. We're the only 2 adults here. It's weird. And then Xavier goes in there, and then he's like, Jean, wake up. And then like the walls are melting and shit. And then he touches her, and he sees into her head, and it's like a death and famine and fire. And I was like, oh fuck, man, that's bad. He wakes her up. Then he puts himself in her bed. I feel like this is crossing a line as a professor. You don't want to be doing this. If there are any headmasters watching, don't get into the beds of your students,
They're
even
really-
if it is to comfort them.
They're really close to 8 in age. though.
Greg.
Yeah.
But
They're not-
throw out all the rules.
They're pretty close.
You're right. Forget everything you know.
Forget
I forget
everything
everything
you
I know. Good
I think
point.
she's
Good
like
call.
15 and he's like 30
Kevin,
at
it was
least.
the 80s. You didn't live through the 80s. I did, man. It was cool.
Statutory rape, still statutory
We're just
rape.
gonna jump around a little bit here. So yeah, that happened. Hurrah! Great earthquakes. That's fucking weird. We felt it all over the place. They're tracing it back. They're doing all these different things. Then over in Magneto land, back at his log cabin, he's like, "Fucking pack your shit. We gotta go." And the woman's like, "I don't understand why. Why do we have to go?" Well, and he's like, "Why? I told you the night we met that I'm me, and this is bad, and this is bad. It's time to run." And she's like, "Finally, okay, fine. Go get the daughter." Daughter's not there. Fucking stupid ass daughter. Go outside. She's run into the woods. Okay, great. She wanted to be with her dear friends or whatever.
man.
Stupid. I'm sure she heard it. She wanted to go say goodbye to her fucking animals. Stupid. We get out there. Cool. That was the doorbell. Oh, Joey's getting it though. Thanks. We run across a little bridge, and guess what? There are all the cops with bows and arrows. Just wooden arrows. No metal tips.
Smart
no metal
kids.
tips. No badges either. Magneto calls this out, and I tell you what. I enjoy all of this Magneto stuff. I'm enjoying everything. Period. I love Magneto. I like him a lot. Love that Fassbender guy. This is not nearly as good, obviously, as like the beer scene and all the other stuff we've seen in this franchise. But I'm enjoying it, and I enjoy that Magneto is like, take me in, cool. It's no big deal. Like, yeah, like let's just do this. Let's.
I hated it all.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
This
You
reminds me.
can I say one good thing, one point before I hand it off to you? You raise an excellent point of the disconnect between the end of Days and here. I didn't have that watching it. I was just in for the ride. Go ahead.
And it reminds me of when you were making the argument back in the day of Last Stand and how he's just such a different character. I'm like, watching this, I'm like, Magneto would never give himself.
You raise it, and that's my thing is like, you totally, when you said that about this disconnect, I was like, oh, it's like me with Last Name.
See, I read it like they had him dead to rights.
And I thought it was maybe to
And I'm
protect the
like,
family.
he's just gonna. What are they gonna do? This is a small town in Poland or wherever he's at.
He's gonna get free.
They're gonna put him in a car. He's gonna fucking get free and take his family and bounce. So I feel like he played it the right way, where he's like, relax. There was a
Everybody
genuine
chill.
like
This isn't your
concern for
problem.
his wife and kid, but at the same time, it was like, you're not gonna be able to keep me away from metal. Like, no. How many
he
fucking
had
prisons
metal.
have these
He
amazing?
knew he had metal.
But here's my thing. I'm with you. And if we can just disassociate the disconnect of Days to here, I think it's just the fact of he's had a good life. I do think that he's had a good life here. He loves his family. I think he does genuinely love or feel affection for the people he works with in the townsmen. Like when he's like, I've had dinner at your house before, right? He doesn't want to fuck them up.
Yeah.
I think this is him trying to be like, I don't want them to get hurt. I'm not gonna fight. Like we can just do this and you can take me. And I do think, yeah, he's gonna fucking melt the car and get out of it eventually. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel my biggest problem with it is it's the laziest writing when the only thing that can progress a plot is that somebody dies. And it's like your motivation is a loved one dies.
Sure.
And this movie literally introduced characters just to do that. And we don't know them at all. We were just told, yeah, they've been together. And I guess he cares about this kid.
Sure.
And then let's just kill him immediately to make Magneto angry again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think disconnected. I hear you. Disconnected from what we're talking about before, and has just a scene or a progression of his story. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So he's like, just take me, dude. It's cool. I'm not gonna start any shit. And then the daughter gets to do the Magneto role from X1 and be like, no, don't take him. And he's like, no. And then the fucking birds start going crazy because this woman is an animorph. She can talk to the animals. She's
how
like
that works.
Aquaman on land. I think is how they describe
Wild
her.
Thornberries would have been a better.
Animorph.
I don't know what wild thornberries are,
Eliza
and I was also
Thornberry,
too
let me tell
old
you,
for
Greg, she
animals.
can talk to animals.
She's Dr. Doolittle. Is that better?
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
Yeah. And the little monkey boy voiced by Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Whoa.
There was a monkey boy in this show.
In Wild Thornberries.
Wild Thornberries.
Oh, thank
It's a
you very
good
much.
show. You
Okay.
should watch it.
Is it in the Hey Arnold universe? I always thought
No,
their
it
art
is in the
style was
Rugrats
close.
universe, though. They did a crossover movie. That's not a joke.
What about Recess? What is Recess its own universe?
Fuck
Or is it
Recess.
Who was the
Fuck
dog?
Fuck Recess?
I'm with Andy.
Wow, you guys
Wait,
are
you don't like
bitches.
Recess?
It's fucking.
Not you. I don't. Tim.
I hate you so much, Kevin.
So the birds
Cool,
are there.
you hear
Make it
this shit?
stop. We can't stop. The cop fires off his arrow, shoots the daughter through her back, mom through her heart. They collapse. Magneto runs over there, grabs him, is like, no, don't go.
He
kind of
must
thing.
have been holding that arrow real tight.
Fuck yeah, the
that's a
tension on
wooden
the
arrow,
wire.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are also vampires. We left this part out.
Very soft skin. Very soft skin vampire.
He's there and he's just like, motherfucker, it happened again. You know what I mean? Tricked me once. And so he has his little parents' necklace and he's holding that. You know, he's lost everything again. And he's and through everybody's necks.
Yondu style.
Yeah, drops everybody. Yeah, exactly. Drops everybody. They're all done, and then he yells at God. This is what you want me to be. And again, I was like, that's cool. I like this in a snapshot. I understand everything you're saying, Tim. I totally makes sense, and I'm with you on. But I was like,
I'm with both of you.
as a scene study, I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean?
What have you forsaken me? I don't know, man. Probably because you brought this shit on yourself for the last 20 years of you fucking being a mass murderer and international terrorist. Maybe you should take a little responsibility for it.
Sure, but he turned over a new leaf. Forget everything you know.
Yeah.
Everything you know. X-Men.
Ridiculous.
X-Men. So yeah, that's happened. Great. Now I'm just gonna throw you back over to. I'm gonna throw you back over to Mystique. She's down at this weird guy's fucking hidey hole where they sell information and do. And it took me a long time to figure out. Oh, Caliban is Caliban. He talks in third person. Okay. This took me too many scenes.
Weird shit, though.
This is-
I didn't know Caliban was in this movie.
I didn't know who he is.
I saw it.
But yeah, that's the thing. I never saw it. I remember watching Logan and being like,
Who the fuck's this
who
guy?
the fuck's this guy? And people were like, yo, he's from Apocalypse. And I was like, all right.
Oh, is this supposed to be
That's why
Stephen Merchant?
Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Totally different characters, though.
Yeah.
Totally
And
different
that's the thing.
sound,
Like,
totally
what
different
the fuck?
vibe.
Very different.
Yeah, I did not pick that up at all.
He went from being a black market, arms dealer, passport person who had a ridiculous German accent to being an Englishman. who was just very nice in the camera.
I
Forget
just
everything you know.
Now again, I have only seen the first third of Logan on a plane. I know what happened, so you don't have to worry about spoiling it for me. Yeah.
I was hoping he's gonna say they came in SRIDs and he's like,
Wait, Andy,
underage,
for
they
real?
tossed
Yeah,
him.
for real. But I see the guy, and I was like, I bet you that's Stephen Merchant. Just the look, the fucking like dark
they're
eyes or
both
whatever.
bald
yeah.
and like pale as hell.
yeah.
I thought this guy was just so forgettable and stupid that I was
So
like, whatever.
dumb.
And again, one of the
Caliban.
biggest crimes of the fucking X-Men.
They don't respect their own universe.
They don't respect their own universe. They introduce these characters that is very unclear what their powers are. When their whole thing is they have powers. It's like there needs to be an introduction of like, and I know that exposition's hard to like pull off correctly, but I feel like X-Men gets the pass to be like, this is Andy and his powers is drawing. You know?
Yeah, it is.
Like, we need to
That's
know
our
that.
boy.
Like, fucking give us that shit. And I feel like with this Caliban dude, you're like, all right, you're here. There's a whole bunch of other mutants around. Like,
Psylocke's there. Yeah, Psylocke's there.
you're another fucking telepath, kind of, maybe, but you also have pink shit.
They did not make it clear that she's a telepath. They were just, all we know is she carries
she
down a
makes
sword
knives.
and she can make like,
Pink stuff.
yeah.
What if Caliban has 4 dicks and they just couldn't show us? Tim?
Oh shit!
That's what I'm saying, man. I want to
That'd
see
be
those
fucking
dicks.
cool.
And Mystique's like,
Show me the
hey,
dicks.
give me a passport. He's like, hey, I will, but you know, we got some free information for you. That's cool. Fucking Magneto's back. He's having some trouble over there. Killed a bunch of police officers and his wife and kid. And Mystique's like, what? Like Tim the Toolman Taylor. And then she's like, how far can you bamf me or whatever, a Nightcrawler? And he's like, and they walk out the door. So that's happening. We'll just go back to, oh no, we gotta go back to Egypt. So yeah, Apocalypse has come back up and he's like, whoa, this is fucking weird and shit. Like, what's going on here or whatever, right? And he sees Storm cause a storm so that she can steal some money. They chase Storm down, they corner Storm. Apocalypse walks up on it and is just like, what the fuck? Who's your master? Who's your lord or whatever he says, right? Who
rules this world?
Who rules this world or whatever? And they're all like, "What the fuck are you speaking, man?"
thought that was a cool
I'm
question.
Merchant. Me too. Me too. He turns the other guys to sand, puts the other guy on the wall, Storm, and is like to Storm like, "Let's fucking roll, mutie." And she's like, "I've never met another mutie." She takes him to her little hovel house, kicks out a bunch of other mutie kids there. They walk in. He sees a TV with like, I can only imagine 2 channels, but he's able to touch it and amplify it because he amplifies powers. Okay, sure, that gets shown. He's able to then dial into the rest of the world, ripping off a great scene from the Return of Superman when Cyborg Superman does this at the White House. Remember this? Dials in, sees all the different things, sees a Fantastic Four logo off on the side. Very cool. But he learns all the world's informations, learns English, learns about the superpower race we have right now between the old Russia and Ronald Reagan, learns about Mr. Magneto because it's the 10-year anniversary. Just he's fucking up to date on everything. You know what I mean? People don't understand that the airwaves back in the day were the Wikipedia of our time.
What other show did that recently where they're tapping into TV and they're seeing like war and missiles and
Every
Fifth
show.
Element.
Was it Fifth Element?
No, she was on the
Multipass.
internet.
He pulls away from that and he's like, I speak English now except for one word. Turns around. She's like, hey, I'm drinking a Coke for no reason. We don't have that much food, but we got Cokes. Okay. Then he sees over there what looks to be like an Egyptian Time magazine or whatever with Mystique on the cover. And it's like, oh man. And she's like, she's my hero. She showed this and like, let's
She's
go.
blue, you're blue, I trust you.
Exactly, pretty much. And he's like, child, I'll show you fucking trust and shit like that or whatever, right?
She just
Yeah.
saw him decapitate 3 people and then put some dude in a
just
wall.
Oh, that was
Girl.
awesome.
But she
the
was-
decapitation was cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but at the same time, I would have been like, hey, dude, thanks for the help.
We're
I'm going to go that
good.
way.
Yeah.
They were just going to take my hand, which is fucked up, but, you know,
But it's
I
mutie
also
stuff, man.
stole.
Muties stick together. You know how it is. This is their problem. These people. So from there, I'm just going to stick with Apocalypse for a little bit. Why not? We're going to jump back to old Caliban's hidey hole or whatever,
Oh,
right?
he like grabs
gives her
her
the
and gives
white
her
hair.
Yeah.
Cool.
the white
From there, we're going to jump
Yeah,
over.
dude.
Andy, the white hair.
Is
Like-
it a wig? I don't know. Wigging out with Scarpino.
While I support the Storm Mohawk look, because I thought that was one of the coolest elements of this, the close-up shots of that fucking marmot that she had on her head were just atrocious. It looked like they skinned an all-white cat and then just sort of haphazardly glued it to her bald head. And I didn't like the close-up shots, but from afar it looked really dope.
I liked
It
her
was a dope
accent,
look.
though.
I think she did. Alexandra Shipp, I think is the name of the actress. I think she did a great job as Storm, and I love the look, and I love the '80s punk feel to Storm. I just like I wish that she could have actually grown that hair out because it looked bad.
I thought it was
If
fun.
we're doing the wig thing, like, are you going to talk about Wolverine's fucking
Buffon.
mullet that he
Jesus
had
Christ.
on?
I thought it was
I mean, that whole section to me, just
I
we'll
thought
get to it.
the
We'll
wig itself-
wig out again part 2 when we get to that. But yeah,
Cool.
that does not look good at all.
And then also just another, the
Give it to
one
me,
shots
Kev.
of Mystique.
oh,
Like,
those are all terrible. Those
What
are all
the
terrible.
fuck's going
Oh
on?
yeah, I know. She looks
What
awful.
is
She
going
looks awful
on?
throughout this
Just
film.
terrible. Thanks, Andy.
What did you want me to give to you?
The wig got out. I just wanted to give him the wig
Oh,
out.
cool. Okay,
You
cool.
did it. You did your job.
Thanks.
And you can just be pretty.
Thanks.
We're gonna stick with Apocalypse. So he goes now to Caliban or whatever the fuck this dude's name is, and is like, I need more mutants or whatever. And he's like, I'm a piece of shit. And they like fucking banter for a second, and then Psylocke's gonna pulls her pink knife and a real knife and holds
What
it to
do you want?
Apocalypse. And
I need you.
And yeah, he's like basically like, oh man, you got spunk. You want to be on my team? I can make you more powerful. I made Storm more powerful. I'm gonna make other people more powerful. Yeah, what do you got?
This is another criticism I have. We had the same criticism of X-Men First Class. We're like, these are the mutants you found. You had a pick of all of the mutants in the world, and these are the ones you picked. Apocalypse is like, I take the four most
come, first
powerful
serve.
fucking
First come, first
mutants.
serve.
I'll
Or
take the
just
first four I
people
run
that
into.
I run
Yeah,
into.
yeah, exactly.
So we've got Magneto, who is incredibly powerful.
We haven't introduced him.
And then we've got Wing Guy.
Angel.
Flies around a little bit. We get
That's where
his mineral
Psylocke
rings.
takes him to see Angel. Angel's there. He's drunk. His wings are all fucked up. She's like, I didn't know this. Let's leave. And he's like, oh, pish posh. I'm Apocalypse. I'll fix this. And gives him metal wings. Really painfully looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then he's got him and then he shoots the blades out.
Now he's Archangel.
Which is cool. And it's just like, but how does he get the blades back? Does he have to go collect
Yeah.
those and reattach
They
those? I'm not sure how that
regrow, I
works.
assume.
Oh, you know what? I totally
Why would
didn't
they
realize he was
regrow?
shooting wings out.
They've always been
Feathers,
that
yeah.
way.
To me, I thought he was just extending them through a wall.
No.
It didn't occur to me that he was.
Yeah, he
they were
shoots them.
projectiles.
Do you think he
Got
has
it.
to eat like metal or feed
Probably.
it into the back
Probably,
of his
yeah.
like
He
pants
makes that makes
somewhere?
perfect
Press the
sense.
boofs of metal.
Fuck.
Yeah, brutal.
So then let's jump back. Let's jump back to Magneto over there. Magneto, he's like fucking another I think dope scene
Yeah.
up until Apocalypse.
I enjoyed
getting
this
there,
scene.
where he walks back into the old metal smelting plant and just fucking locks all the doors and closes everything and stops everything. He's like, you fuckers wanted to know who I am. I'm goddamn Magneto, and I'm gonna
Like Henry.
I'm
I'm not Henry.
Yeah, I'm Magneto. Awesome.
And we all knew it was coming, but it
Yeah.
felt good.
Yeah,
It felt
exactly.
Did it feel good though?
It
Because
did
it was
feel
like
good.
you're,
It did
you're
feel
basically
good.
just confirming all of these people's thoughts about
No,
you.
but did they kill his kid?
Somebody
need to?
shout
Yeah,
out
well, fuck him for
to the
snitching,
kind of
dude.
funny subreddit who were talking about this and like somebody should look at this for XCU interview about this Apocalypse, blah blah. And it was a recap of it was just a screenshot of somebody tweeting about all this stuff and just being like that they were on Magneto's side. That literally, yeah, he tried to clean up and live a straight and narrow life, and everything was great. And these guys still came and fucked with him, and
Yep.
like he just can't get away from
Like
it. So yeah.
clearly humans are assholes and we'll never let the muties get away. That being said, as a human, we got to kill all them muties.
Well,
You know what I mean?
especially
They're too
Magneto. You
strong.
know what I mean? Come on. You know,
Too
he's just
strong.
World global terrorist #1. He's tearing apart baseball stadiums. And
I
so
just
he
feel
go,
like this guy's got families and kids all around the world. One down, you're like, yeah.
he doesn't know.
We'll call it
He's gonna
even.
kill
Call it
everybody.
even.
Guess what? And bloop, a little fucking Apocalypse portal opens up.
Time bubble.
It's Apocalypse. It's Archangel. It's Psylocke and it's Storm. And he's like, "Listen, man, I hear you're the tits, and I'd love for you to join us and do this." And he's like, "I'm not gonna let you stop me from killing these people." And Apocalypse is like, "Oh, boom."
Apocalypse is like he's making like just like a super band kind of. I love it.
Sucks
Like,
them all into the ground. They're all dead. He's like, whatever. And he's like, come with me. I can make you more powerful than you can imagine. It comes through the portal. We go to Auschwitz. Again, we just keep coming back to Auschwitz. You know what I mean? But this time, like, we're super fucking in Auschwitz. You know what I mean? Like, we're just walking
We're like,
around.
yeah, we're there in the daytime.
Exactly. And he's like, hey, this is where it was. You shouldn't have brought me here. No, I should have. I want to make you more powerful. Da da da. He's like, touch the fucking ground. Reach past that. Reach, get it out. You can get all the metal. And he fucking powers him up as he does with his white eyes. And then he just fucking does the weird dust. Everything's turned to dust. And I'm doing
Like
it.
making the fucking McDonald's arches everywhere. like,
Yes,
what's going
exactly.
on?
Tearing up Auschwitz.
He's just
which,
pulling the
you
metal
know,
out of everything around him. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
every little tiny mineral.
So now we're all like, oh,
yeah.
fuck, guess what? Magneto, he's super powerful. We're going to have to keep an eye on this problem.
He was already super powerful. You
We're going to
remember
have to
when
keep
he
an eye.
picked
We're
up
going to keep an eye on this one. That's what they're like. You know what I
They
mean?
were like that, Greg.
Before he was like, he just went away, no big deal, no harm, no foul. But now, woof. I don't know about this
Are
guy.
you trying to wink?
Is he winking?
We got to
I
keep
wasn't
an eye.
sure.
I'm saying they got to
Is he
keep an eye on him.
winking? I don't know.
I don't understand what he was.
Huh?
Nothing, go ahead. Let's move on.
All right, cool. So now we got our 4 horsemen of the apocalypse ready to go. We got Apocalypse. They're going to get cool suits. Assume that's happened. They got their cool suits, the apocalyptic suits. You don't like that?
No.
You don't like their suits? Why not? Apocalypse, he wants to look
It goes
dope.
back to what I'm saying later. It's just like, great, now we have all the villains. These are obviously villains. They're
Yeah.
obviously bad guys.
But why
standing
did
in the
everyone
wall.
get a cool suit except for Psylocke? How come Psylocke had to be in the half bikini?
I wonder why.
How
That's
is she
what
going to be
Psylocke
able
is
to
most
flip and do
comfortable in.
stupid like cutting? All
That
she does in
terrible
this
flip,
movie
the
is
terrible
do this
flip.
shitty flip and cut things
It
in
looks
half.
so shitty
The
too
flip
when she
that-
cut the,
and they used it in the
car in
trailer.
half.
And
I was
remember,
like, I would've
and
done
the funny thing about this is watching this final product and watching Psylocke and Olivia Munn, how much they use her in this. I was watching this, like, oh right, I remember when she came, we weren't there, we were already gone. When she came to visit IGN, and they put up a video of her doing all the sword tricks.
Sword shit.
I'm like, oh wow, she must feel like a real horse's ass that she had to waste 6 weeks learning all these sword tricks, and all it is just fucking spinning dice.
She did the sword tricks though. Like she did the actual moves because I remember the IGN video. She did it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like they made like to learn all that, and then it's just reduced to I cut a fucking car in half to save Storm.
I'm Psylocke.
And the camera and her and the background were moving in all different directions.
Yeah.
It just looked terrible. But I remember that became like a meme on the internet. Like when that footage leaked, Twitter tore it apart.
Sure.
And deservedly.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Xavier's Institute for Gifted Youngsters and Little Bitches. So we're there, right? And everybody's just being young and stupid. Cyclops has got goggles now. I think his best looking sunglasses of the franchise.
Oh, of course, they're just fucking Ray-Bans.
They're literally Ray-Bans.
They're Wayfarers. Yeah.
Which I was like, that's dope. They actually say Ray-Ban on the side. They just put little wings on them.
They figured it out. He goes to talk to Jean Grey. He thinks the kids are scared of him. They're scared of her. And she thinks she should, well, I guess she had a part in shaking the house and all this shit. Oh, fucking goddamn. You know what I mean? We go inside. Big old J-Law shows up with Nightcrawler. Hey, I got this kid. Also, Magneto's in trouble. Also, hey, Beast, we have this weird sexual tension, but like it's weird.
We need to keep addressing.
First off,
kind of
not weird, not good, nothing. They just keep forcing these two actors to have this sexual tension. You're like, this is not. There's not. It's not there. It's not there. Why? It's weird.
You don't think it was there in the first movie?
Maybe a little bit in the first movie when they were kids and figuring it out, but at the same, like every time he sees her, he's like, oh, Raven, good to see you. And it's like, get over it, you fucking goof. Jesus Christ, it's bad. It's just bad. There's no. They just do such a bad job at creating sexual tension with any of these characters.
Any
the
of these
whole fucking series.
we had another chance
None.
with Jean and Cyclops, and it didn't work.
Well, I'll tell you this though, I do like the kid that plays Scott Summer in this.
Me
like,
too.
I think the casting, these two kids, I wanted more of them. I wanted to see more of them. I like when they all go to the mall. I like when they all hang out together. Like the kid, it's the kid from Ready Player One.
Do we see them
right?
all go to the mall?
Yeah. So we see them
of.
going to
They
the
just
mall.
talk about it,
kind
right?
of.
No,
Well,
I mean
we
they
see
can
them
walk
Return
out of
the
the
Jedi.
Empire, or Jedi.
Right.
And then they
I
make the
hated
joke that
I
is
hated
actually
it.
about this movie.
Yeah. Third one's always the worst. Yeah,
yeah,
Why would you make
I think when they wrote it, they made it about X30.
Yeah,
but
they did,
it
for
turned
sure.
out to be for this movie as well.
But so I watched there was the deleted scene of them going to the mall, and I watched that after the movie. It was like a 4-minute long thing.
Isn't it good? I heard.
And
heard it
it's
was
super
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What song's playing? It's a great song.
Does
that
Jubilee
they
use
got
her
going.
powers at all?
Jubilee does use her powers.
Are
She
they
does
cool?
little like fireworks things to make one of the arcades like not have to use quarters,
That's
and
not
then they
how it
play.
works.
I know, and like there's a bunch of weird
Whatever,
shit.
man.
But shout out to them walking through the mall, and it's just a montage with a song playing, and they look over it on the TV screens. It's the National Aerobics Championship.
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Here's a question for that scene. Does anybody look at him weird? Because it's like I understand
There's
that
a blue kid, yeah.
understand that we got mutants and we got this, but like when they walk out of the theater, no one reacts to the devil walking along next to them.
Seriously, and they, not really. There's one kid that kind of looks over at him, but it's like
it
kind
could
of
be-
like oh cool because he's playing a video.
It could be a
arcade
Jean
game.
Grey thing of like she's fucking people's minds. I
Maybe. They don't
guess
show that.
I read that as he had the dopest jacket ever on from the
Thriller.
Michael Jackson
Fucking
Thriller video.
so cool.
And everyone was like, yes, he does look like the stuff of nightmares, but he has a great sense of fashion. So let's give him a pass.
Kevin, you raised your hand.
No, it was like a little
Oh, okay.
thing. Hey, floating here like crab.
We left out. I left out an ability. Of course, Charles Xavier not at the school when J-Law and Nightcrawler show up because after the earthquake, they looked in to figure it out and they found Moira fucking being weird, going back to Langley after it. So they go to the FBI.
Did you think that what's his face Xavier's acting was a little funny there, where he was like, "Well, I have a
gonna go
crush on
check
her."
her out.
Like,
I thought it was good. It was like Tommy Lee
oh.
Jones and Men in Black. You know what I mean?
was
Missed his
endearing.
wife.
Safety Dance was the song.
They go to meet up with Moira. They do the whole thing where they stop the room. They walk in there. She knows them. He kind of slips up that he erased. Remember, they start talking. Great, blah blah blah. We got to fucking do this. We got the apocalypse guy coming. Maybe that's where they got it from the Bible. Maybe the Bible got it from them.
I thought that was a cool
That was
line,
cool. That was a cool
actually.
line.
We
Yeah,
got
I
from
like
the
that.
Bible, yeah.
Also,
it was
the idea of the Four Horsemen, dope as fuck. Like that's the thing is, it's so disappointing where they end up with this because
Yeah,
like it's
super
such
lame
a
here,
cool
yeah.
Because
idea.
literally every time he forms this team, they either fucking betray him or totally let him down. Every time.
Yeah.
So why?
So yeah.
Maybe you got the person that can do the fucking lightning, the guy that can control metal, and you've got lame A and lame B. Maybe fill these ones in with super strong people, like
The
maybe
concept
level
is so
4
badass,
mutants, and let it go from
I
there.
agree.
So we have a bunch of different plot points moving that all intersect here in a second. That's all happening. Meanwhile, the Magneto news that, hey, Magneto's back. He's resurfaced. He killed a bunch of cops, and these, kind of these other people are dead around him. That starts popping on the news. Quicksilver sees that. His alcoholic mom comes back down drinking, and is like, yeah, you're gonna go find him. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go find him. All right, cool.
I love him.
He has the card for the Institute. We bounce out of there. Back in the Institute, Moira, Charles, and Havoc show back up. Then they run into Jayla and everybody. Meanwhile, the kids, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Jubilee, they're in Scott. They go to the mall. Fuck it, we need to get out of here. I want a prison break. They take a car. They go to the mall. We get a little reunion. J-Law Moira doesn't remember Mystique. That's weird. And then they usher her in. She explains it to her. We got a little bit of Xavier Mystique here, and she's like, "This was never my home." Blah blah blah. It was your home. Don't be a jerk about
you lived
it.
here for a long
You know what I
time.
mean?
It seemed like
You fucking bad hair kid. Get out of here. Nobody cared. Yeah.
Bad hair
You know what I
kid.
mean? Bad hair kid. But anyways, guess what? We got problems. Magneto's back. We need to help him. We need to find him. He's up to no good. All right, fine. Let's go to Cerebro. And I tell you what, I didn't think I'd be sick of Cerebro, but 9 movies into the franchise, I'm sick of Cerebro. We go down there, we put on the fucking thing. Beast made it bluer because he's got a fucking crush on
Fucking
Mystique.
horrible line.
What the fuck? Why do we care?
Useless.
Anyways, we put it on. We target all the muties. We find Eric Lensher himself, Magneto, who's got his back turned to everybody. And he's like, Charles. And they walk away and they start having a conversation. Cool. All right, cool. You know what I mean? I can feel your pain. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he's like, turns around and he's just like, but I'm with these guys now. And he's like, he's not alone, blah, blah, blah. And then like Apocalypse looks and Apocalypse gets in there and he's like, oh, thank you for this.
That's
And
the answer.
thanks for giving me the gateway to your mind. Or
I was
whatever.
always confused by what the people inside there could see.
Yeah. I feel like now they can see everything. But I feel like, I don't know if it started that way.
But they didn't know that somebody was speaking. Like they were like, "Who is it?" And he was like, "It's Eric, right?" Like
I think they see the outlines of the
figure or
bodies and
something,
stuff.
maybe?
It's like
Okay.
being
This
in a
time-
planetarium, but the mic isn't turned on.
when he turned it on, Myra like fucking drops to the ground.
Oh, yeah, because it goes like, and I'm like, I don't understand
Yeah.
what we're doing with Cerebro
Right.
anymore. But hey,
what are the rules? Throw out all the rules.
Also, how
forget
often
everything you know. Forget everything you know. But technically now, if you want to, even though throw out everything you know and don't do it, technically now, Magneto helps him rebuild Cerebro.
That's true. That's true.
Answering one of your guys' problems from before.
Me.
Point Brian Singer. You had something to say, or
Horrible Mad Libs
Yeah, I was
world.
gonna say, you ever think he watched movies in there? Goes in there.
No,
puts the
I
chair
don't think he
full
ever watched movies. I
recline.
think he watches people jerk it. Those are sirens on our side. So anyways, yeah, that's in there. Apocalypse gets in there. He takes control of all the fucking gizmos and gadgets, and he's like, oh, fuck, this is all unlimited power, and I can see everything. And oh, no. And like, Charles, you gotta get out. I can't get out. His eyes go, I've never felt power like this. Oh, my God, it's all happening to mine. They're like punching the fucking
Which
thing.
fucking sucks because that should have been cool and it wasn't. I've never felt power like this. Deal with that. Let's have a conversation about Professor X being overwhelmed, being his powers amplified. What could that? No, let's just move on.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but this is this should have been almost the climax of the whole movie, right? Where like
it wasn't.
Apocalypse takes control of him, and then by proxy
Can just
takes
beam his
control of
message out.
all of these people, and then launches all of the nuclear weapons.
Right.
Which you would think they were going to destroy things, but no, he just puts
Let's
them into
never touch
space.
this again. Yeah, let's
Let's
never
not
touch.
talk-
They just
Well, he
kind
What
rid
are
the
you gonna
planet of
do?
nuclear weapons, right? I think to show
superpowers.
no more superpowers.
But we still have guns.
Yeah, you can't. Those aren't
Those
gonna do
aren't
anything. I just
Also,
took
we
your
know how to
biggest.
make more, you
I
know
just
what I
took
mean?
your
Yeah.
biggest. It takes lots of time.
It's because he watched the news and they're like, these are all these superpower
These are the
It's
forces.
a
ones
dick
we got
measuring
groups.
contest, right? So he just cut off everybody's dick.
But so when these things went up into space, I was like, oh, that's cool. A bunch of like nuclear powered metal in space, and we've got the guy that can move metal. Like maybe we'll do something with these. No, just turns out the entire nuclear arsenal from every country on the fucking
floating
planet,
around Earth.
just floating around up
It's
there.
gonna be bad.
Hopefully one of them. I mean, I know you can't really like knock. You got to arm them and shit like that. But
Imagine a meteor came and hit.
like that might suck.
Like just a small meteor, just fucking destroyed everything.
Sure.
dude.
Who knows?
Cause a chain reaction.
Magneto probably cleans it up. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Anyways,
so?
that happens, and then it's like, all right, who's the most powerful mutant in here? Havoc. Fucking Jesus Christ, fine. Destroy Cerebro. And it's like, and I'm like,
I still
what
can't
a
control
stupid
this dumb
idiot.
fuck
What a
power.
stupid
No, he's
fucking
using his
power.
hands now and
so
stuff.
dumb.
I feel like
Dumb.
the actor has never opened his mouth in his life. Just look at him.
Okay, next time I will.
You look at his face, look at his
Weird.
mouth.
That's
He's
weird.
always like,
What does that mean?
He
just doesn't
talks.
open
Like,
his
we
mouth,
saw
I
him
guess.
talk.
But I feel like his teeth never separate when he
Yeah,
talks.
that's a
wow.
weird
Just gotta
one.
look at
That's a
weird
weird
things.
one.
They
And
look
that's
at
how they
me
direct him,
saying
you know what I mean? He destroys Cerebro. They get Charles out. Oh my God, everybody out of the fucking Cerebro and let's do it. They do that, and guess what? Boom, the portal opens up, and here Apocalypse was like, dude, I got a taste of what you're selling, and Mommy doesn't want a popsicle. He wants the source.
Mommy wants the whole fucking cargo van, you know what I'm saying? And deliver it right into my mouth.
And so they're like, man,
van.
the fuck you do? And they're like, nah, just fuck this. And Magneto grabs Professor X by the chair, brings him over.
was
He's
cool.
exhausted, by the way. He's passed out. That was cool. Everyone's like, no! And like Havoc runs down there like he's going to start some shit. And then he fires off his blast, right? But then the portal closes and he shoots in and shoots the fucking plane.
Nuclear-powered plane, which
Yeah.
I guess it causes a chain reaction that can explode an entire square block of land.
Right.
I guess because it's a
bomb.
nuclear-powered
And
plane.
you can see it from a mile away.
Because I can't do this song well.
Sweet dreams are made of it.
Guess who runs up as the children are coming back having a great time in their convertible? Quicksilver runs up and there's a bee fucking
God.
pollinating a fucking flower, and he looks at the house. He's like, something's not right about this house.
Well, see, did he? But I think like he looks at the house and he's like, okay, I don't know what this house is, but with what we know about Quicksilver is he runs to every single aspect of everything and like looks through shit before anyone even knows he's there. So I judge this part of like he's like, hey, I'm at the house. This is weird. And then runs down and figures out shit's blowing up.
I hear you, but he runs down there and just has no reaction to seeing a nuclear
But
explosion.
he's
or
so
whatever you wanna call it.
fast, baby. He doesn't care. Like
All he
that's
needs
the
is
crazy thing
overreact.
is we get to see a little bit of his world, and you're like, this dude lives on a different plane
Sure,
than everyone
sure.
else.
So he
Because
starts-
It's just not. Yeah.
He starts pushing the stuff out, and he's running people out of the basement, and he's doing all this other jazz, and he's fucking doing it. And like, just a cool scene. Is not. I don't think nearly as cool as the first one.
No.
Right?
See, my thing
They're
is,
trying hard.
I feel like they
More fun though.
They
I think that
tried to
succeeded
recapture it.
because there's no way that because the first one had the surprise factor. People
I'll
didn't
say
expect
this,
it
though.
going in, but I love that with this one, there was a lot of stuff. It kind of got samey where it's like, okay, he's just grabbing the people. But when he started tossing them up,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like, what
You're
the
like,
fuck's
what the
gonna
fuck's
do?
they got?
I feel like the
What roles
end
we
of
do
this
that?
one was a lot better than the
Okay.
end of the
Okay,
first one,
I'll give
where
you
it's
that.
like there is a payoff where it's like
They
with
jump
the
into-
dog and the goldfish.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the,
yeah.
You weren't sure they were gonna fall in the pool. You weren't sure they're gonna
Yeah.
hit the drapes. Like that stuff was kind of like confusing at first, but it was
The
great.
effect they do with the GoPro style, like on the face, is running through.
Yeah, and with that
And
dog.
then they go to the dog. I'm like, you got me. Anytime you have a French bulldog, I'm like, you got me. I'm
But I
sorry.
loved the it was all the camera tricks that really make his scenes feel unique, and I loved the once he leaves the building and he's like riding on the table or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and like he flips, then he does the kick off of it, and then like speeds up, lands on the
Railway or
the
whatever.
rail, and just fucking runs. I'm like, this is cool as
Yeah,
hell.
it was cool. It was cool.
It's cool.
So yeah, then it catches up to real speed. We see the payoff to everything, the explosion, everything else. But he saved all the people. Yay! They're all outside. Yay! And then the fucking kids show up. They're like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Where's my brother?
And then, oh yeah,
Oh.
exactly. And he's like, "I think." And then he's like, "No sympathy." I was like, "I think I got everybody."
But that's kind of what I like about this Quicksilver character is he's just kind of odd.
Yeah.
Like he's a little
total
removed
loser.
from humanity. Where it's like, I'm pretty sure I got everyone.
Yeah.
And the whole time, like, there's not. He
You
gets
talk
a
about
little
a
bit
dead
real
person, dude.
when he sees his dad, but you just have this kind of concept like this guy is just not a part of humanity. He's not a part of any of this.
But the thing is, like, he obviously he is kind of odd, but he also didn't know Havoc personally or
Yeah,
really
sure,
anybody
sure,
in there.
sure,
So to him, he was like, I got everybody I saw. Like I don't know
I
who
didn't
this
see it.
Havoc
Even
guy
right
you're
there, you
mentioning.
you acted and emoted better than he did in the moment. Whereas you're like, I got everybody I saw. That's like, hey man, I tried. Whereas I think I got everybody. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I mean, he could just be a weird. I mean, he's a weird
Nobody
kid,
gives a
you know?
flying fuck
Havoc's
because guess
dead.
what, everybody? Mystique's blue. And everybody's like, what? The blue Mystique. It was her all
We all
along.
looked
And they're
up
like,
to
yeah,
you.
it's a big deal. We look up to you. I think this, maybe not, they didn't say it here. They say it a million fucking times in this movie. Oh my God. And she's like, and it just turns back to Jennifer Lawrence. Like, I don't know. And then he's like, oh man, okay, cool. And then like Scott Summers is like, I gotta still go check. I gotta find him. So he runs into the dirt and the fucking ashes or whatever with Nightcrawler and Jean Grey. Was Jubilee with him? I forget. I think it was just those three.
No, just those three.
They got rid of
They're
it. They were
like,
done.
They
yeah.
run in
enough.
there, and then guess what? Helicopter rolls up with big old speakers like, everything's okay. We're medical assistants. Everything's okay. We're medical. And it's like, oh, fuck. Okay, good. Medical assistants. They got here quick. This is
Wow.
cool. And then, no, it's William Stryker. And by the time Mystique's able to be like, get down, and they fire fucking shit into the air. They
Sonic cannons, it
that
was
knock
like?
everybody the
Yeah.
fuck out. They're bwomp. They're all
I
down.
thought that was cool.
It was cool. I was just like,
well,
whoa,
that's
that's
pretty
an unexpected. Because I was
Except-
like, Quicksilver is going to run these motherfuckers over.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You think that they've been waiting for like years?
to get them all
10
out of the
minutes
house.
away. 10 minutes away for something to go wrong.
Yeah. This was triggered,
It
of
was
course,
Stryker
by
himself.
but it was triggered by the psychic event that had happened. That's what when he shows up.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
they're there.
yeah,
They
you're
know
right,
this
you're
is
right,
a
you're
Professor X kind of shit that would go down, right?
Yeah, I thought Quicksilver would have been able to even like, as he says, take him down. Like his mind works so much different. Like Nick was mentioning, like he's on a different
It's
plane. But I kind of wanted. Yeah, again, it's one of those. Why didn't they just do this? Why didn't they just do that? Why didn't fucking Nightcrawler just do the Azazel thing and just teleport him up in the sky and just teleport him?
He's not a psychopath that can do that and be okay with it.
Or teleport all of the soldiers elsewhere. Just
Well,
takes time.
I mean, think about it this way. They do a good job of help is here, help is here. They're a bunch of fucking kids. An army helicopter shows up. I'd be like, oh yeah, help is here. It's not until Mystique sees Stryker's face that she's like, no, this isn't, and it's too late. They've done it. Their guards are down, I think.
No, but I'm saying when Nightcrawler's hiding, like they're all hiding.
Oh,
And they're just like,
my
what do we do?
apologies,
What do
my
we do?
apologies.
You know,
Nightcrawler's
like-
still a kid. Like, remember? Like, he wasn't just, down to kill Angel. There was still, that, no, we shouldn't fight. And it's like, no, they will kill us if we don't fight right now.
Yeah, okay,
You know
I
what
see
mean?
your point now. Good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the same thing of just like
I love Nightcrawler. I think
Everybody's
he's
a
great.
big fucking coward in these movies. You know what I mean? If I saw this happen to my friends and they were all on the ground and I'm Cyclops, I'd be like, great. Yeah. Thanks for laying all my friends low so I can just fuck your life up.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Stryker goes through and starts picking the muties he wants. He wants Mystique. He wants a bunch of other people. They'll play out when we get there. And then they get them all loaded on the fucking train or the helicopter. And they're like, all right, we gotta get in the helicopter too. So Nightcrawler bamfs them in there, and then can't get out. Jean can't use her powers. And oh my god. Well, there was a cool scene too where the guy walked through the rubble and Jean Grey blocked him, so she didn't see him.
Worst CGI in the
Really
movie.
terrible CGI.
Why
I was
would
like,
they
why
not
didn't you just film a blank corner?
Right.
Why'd you
But
build this rock?
instead, they CGI rock.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Jesus.
I didn't
Anyways,
even realize
they're
that.
back on the
You didn't even
helicopter.
realize? You
The
should watch it
helicopter
again.
takes off. The helicopter's going, and guess what, everybody? We're going to Alkali Lake.
Alkali Lake, man. We gotta
Everybody's
go back.
favorite fucking location, Alkali Lake. We are there. I know you're excited. Withhold your excitement.
Forget
for a second.
everything you know. It's a volcano now.
No, it doesn't happen. They land there. They unpack all the muties. They put all the muties in a cage. Somehow they don't see the kids. When the kids got in the plane and couldn't bamf them way out or psychic because
Doesn't make any
the
sense.
metal or whatever, I was like, oh fuck, they're exposed too.
Right.
But apparently, as soon as they slid the door open to get the other muties, that was the moment they needed for Jean Grey to be like, oh good, air or whatever. I don't even fucking know what I mean. There it is. Got it. And I blocked him.
Figure out how they got out of the fucking helicopter without getting spotted.
Yeah, 100%.
fucking ridiculous.
But it doesn't matter. That's happened. We're in Alkali Lake now. We got the kids down. We got the one group down there, and then our other group over there in the green prison area. Yeah, where it's Quicksilver and it's Mystique, and Quicksilver reveals that Eric is his dad, and Mystique's like, what? Like I was like, oh, that seems a bit overacted, but okay.
Yeah.
They have a conversation there. Dad installs that. Great, good. I'm sure this will be a well kept secret, as somebody fucking already knows by the time we get to the next scene. Doesn't matter. Stryker comes over. He's like, hey, yeah, you're all fucking mutants, and we want to know what the hell's going on. So just help. Like, let us out. We'll help you. And he's like, I'm not gonna fucking trust you. You can change into anything. I've seen what you do. You changed into me apparently, and we had some kind of interaction where you got away from being me, and I came back to being me, and I got the Wolverine guy. But we'll not even talk about that. It doesn't matter right now. While all this is
It does
happening,
matter right now. If it didn't matter right then, when will it matter, Greg?
when are you gonna talk to everybody? You
Forget
know
what
I
you
mean?
know.
You just forget what you know. Forget everything.
Forget
Just
everything.
forget everything.
Why is he
Forget your mom.
30 years younger than he was in the other movie,
Forget
man?
everything you fucking
I don't
know. How
understand.
hard is this,
You know your mom?
guys?
Forgot her.
They changed everything. They changed the
But that's not-
timeline.
but like,
Retcon.
Origins happens before.
Origins doesn't. Well, part of it happens before.
All of it.
I'd say
Or none
most of it. Most
Part of it happens.
What part does it?
Some of it.
I did
And
think
none
he
of
was a
it.
better actor this time around,
Some
though.
of it, none of it.
Such a bad guy. You know?
He- I like
you
that.
look
I
at that
like
dude
that
and you're
actor.
like,
Yeah,
you're a smug
I just
little
think like
fuck.
in the other movies there were plenty of parts where he got casted for his looks and he's not a very good actor. But in this movie, I was like, oh okay, he's
Wait, you saying that Brian
Are you
Cox?
fucking kidding me?
yeah.
You didn't like Brian Cox as Stryker?
It's going way
In
longer
this
than
movie,
I thought
he
would.
was way better.
Let's speed it up. I got things to do. So this has happened. Great, fucking great. While this happens, Apocalypse has got Professor X over on the giant fucking terrible CGI hill as well. They're fucking having a conversation there. They're talking to each other. Great, great, great. And then he's like, fucking, I'm going to take over your powers. You're going to send a message to the world. That's what we're going to do. It happens. Everybody hears the same voice in their head. This is what's going on. This is how it's happening. Congratulations, everybody. Fucking Apocalypse is back, and he's God, and he's going to do it. But at the very end, Xavier, like, no, I'm not going to say that part. Help each other. Don't fucking rule each other. Or mutants help each other. Don't rule the humans. That makes
stand-up movie.
Apocalypse really angry or whatever, but I forget what he says really does about it. But basically, he sets up the idea that I'm just going to take your fucking body because you're the missing piece. I've never been able to control everybody. I've just been able to control everybody, but I want to control everybody. I want the difference here. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, back at Alkali Lake, the striker comes back and is like, "What the fuck was that?" And like, we don't fucking know. You're like, we're in a fucking hole and we heard it too. Everybody's fucking freaked out about this goddamn message. While that's happening, they look over there in the monitors and guess what? 3 fucking kids are walking around. Ah, fucking shit. All right, cool. So we got to go get these kids. They run over there. They're shooting at them and stuff. They're running them around. They run into this room like where the generator is, and then also there's a giant black box. And they're like, "Oh, it sounds like an animal's in there." And Jean Grey's like, "Oh, it's no animal. It's no animal." Yeah, again, one of the many powers Wolverine has that we all know. So they kill the power, and then
That is one of the powers he
and
has.
Jean Grey opens the thing. I know. I'm saying this. I'm aware of all the powers Wolverine has that come from his one mutant ability of healing.
People have more than one mutant
He's the
ability.
Wolverine.
Jean Grey raises the bar, pulls it out, and they're like, "Ah!" And guess what? There it is, Hugh Jackman. Fucking awesome.
Didn't know he was in the movie. You guys spoiled it for me a couple
what we did.
XT interviews back, but I was like, "Oh shit, they got him."
In a scene that
So
should have been
useless.
so fucking cool. In a scene that was like, in theory, just the coolest fucking thing we're ever gonna see. Like just a quick scene of him as
Should have been
Weapon X.
Vader in the hallway.
Should have been Vader in the hallway. What we got was not good. This was a weird scene. All the action was like, it was like he didn't. I don't know. It was so fucking off. It
It
just
was
did
the
not work for me
lamest
at all.
answer to the question of what
How
happened
did he
with
get out?
Mystique as Stryker. Like, what's going on there? And it was like, all right, well, Wolverine still got metal claws. Cool.
Didn't make a whole. Yeah, it was one.
He did meet Jean though, and they had a weird fucking moment.
Which
Yeah.
almost
As
kind
usual.
of would have made sense as to why he was connected to her. If they had ever
everything,
set that up, where he was like that, like in my brain, I'm like, oh, it makes sense why he instantly fell for this girl because she was the one that like started to give him his sanity back.
What did she
when she was
remind him?
10 or
His
whatever
name.
the fuck, however long she's supposed to be there. But like, I just think that this unfortunately like takes us back into the past of like how they treated Wolverine. Where like none of the action was good. It was kind of violent, but not really. It was shot
There
in
was
broad
blood.
fucking
There was
daylight.
blood
It was
this time.
blood,
Blood
yeah.
splatter.
But it just doesn't work. Am I the only one that felt that way?
No, I
like it
it
reminds me of
did.
X3 where he's like,
I think
jump up.
we've seen so much awesome Wolverine action in these 9 weeks so far of this show that yeah, this is not great action, but I still thought it was awesome to see Hugh Jackman. It was awesome to see Hugh Jackman in the weird like Weapon X gear.
goggle thing,
And then
yeah.
call him Weapon X.
Not
all
as
the time.
vascular.
She was like, let me help you out though. And then she gets to them. She's like, I'm gonna help you out. Hold on. Right? And just takes the thing off his head. And he's
she
like,
gave him
I
some
could
memories.
not have ever figured out how to do that.
Well, that
Right?
was Jen was watching it. She's like, "You're telling me in all that action and fighting that thing, that
thing didn't fall
fragile
off his
little
fucking
thing didn't
head."
come off his head."
And then we get the wig that is just the worst.
Hit it!
Give it to
Well,
me.
are we doing the abs
Part
or the
two.
we're doing the wig again? Okay,
We'll
is
do
it
both.
a
We're gonna
wig?
do both.
I don't know. We're wigging out with Scarpino.
It's terrible. Give me
Okay.
the abs.
Were they born in labs? Now it's time to rank those abs.
Still looks good, but it doesn't look great.
No.
you can. That's the problem
Big step
with
down.
this scene is that it was clearly if it was an afterthought, it just wasn't very well thought out at all. They got him. Obviously, he was in the middle of training probably for the next movie, which I assume was Logan. Right? Was he filming that at this point?
I don't think
Who
they were
knows?
filming it,
But
but I
either
think
way,
he was prepping for it.
He's still big, but he's not.
This is
I'm gonna
like
take my shirt off, Hugh Jackman
X2
big.
sort of last stand Hugh Jackman.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be in that shape all the
Well,
time.
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's really hard to be in that shape, and that's why the scene was like. It just felt like an afterthought. It felt like we're not really going to prep for this. We'll just throw him in
Yeah.
there and like, who cares?
I
It's
do
going to be
f-
cool. Fans are going to geek out about it, and it just did not work.
I do feel like they called him and he was like, "Fuck, like I need 3 days to not drink water." you gotta warn me. You know?
we need you this afternoon. He's like, all right, you guys have the Buffon. ready?
The action not nearly as good as it was and stuff, but I still think it's a cool thing in the movie of that. And I liked him pulling the things out of the giant fucking screws.
Oh,
that are
it
sitting
looks so
in front of him.
gross.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
gross.
And then he just runs off, and Cyclops like, oh man, I'm glad that guy's out of our lives. All right,
Hope we never see that guy
on the
again.
nose, great. Also, while we're here, I just want to give a shout out to the fuck they used, which we blew past.
Yeah.
When Apocalypse shows up and Eric turns around and goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
That was great.
That was good. Yeah.
All right, though. Wolverine's gone. Now we're going to get all the other muties out of there. We get all the other fucking muties out of there. Stryker runs away. He already ran away whenever, obviously,
It's
everybody's
a
getting
bitch ass
butchered.
move.
Of
I'll be
course.
right back.
That's how he is.
Literally says, "I'll be right back." It just doesn't come back.
While we're there, we're like, we got to go. The professor's in trouble. You know, he gave Jean an encoded message inside the real message that he needed help or whatever. And they're like, we got this helicopter that'll get us to Egypt, no problem. Also, here are flight suits that'll be fucking spot on, amazing. And Moira's there. She's like, I'm in. Let's put me in a
What's the
flight
deal
suit.
with the helicopter? Like, why'd it look like a bird?
So that it could
cool
get you
looking.
faster and be cool. Yeah, just be cool.
cool.
It had like its own head.
They were like,
Yeah,
we
it was-
want it to look like the Quinjet, but we can't really do that. So let's make it look like a bird Quinjet.
So they do that. They get in there. They
look
fly
like
over to
Serenity in
Egypt,
Firefly.
right? Am I missing anything? They fly to Egypt.
Sure.
Meanwhile, while we're in Egypt, Apocalypse makes his own new Egyptian tower, starts this whole fucking shit going on, right? Tears up, just fucks up Cairo, makes this giant metal pyramid in the center of it. They're into their plan now, right? Of, all right, cool, Magneto, time for you to rip the metal out of everything in the fucking world, just out of everything. And bridges are blowing up, and buildings are getting torn apart, and fucking the Sydney Opera House takes it on the chin, just destroyed. We were there, Tim. We were there.
I
That's
thought about
personal to
that.
me.
I know. I was like, damn, man. Me and Greg took a picture there.
Right? God, can you imagine if we had been there when it happened? Like, oh no, all the metal.
Stan Lee's there with his wife.
Oh,
looking
yeah,
up.
yeah,
No, that was earlier. Right?
But I love that he's just like, hey, we're going to do this. Magneto's like, okay.
Yeah, well, he's
Have
like,
a
at this
conversation.
point, he's like, fuck everything. Fuck everybody.
Fuck it, let's
I'm
kill
done.
everyone on the planet.
I tried to
Let's
be a
just kill
normal
them all.
human being, and now I'm just going
or
to fucking
not.
tear everybody
that's
out.
the other thing too. Is like we're just gonna tear all the metal out of everything. All these buildings are gonna crumble around everyone, and we'll probably kill half the mutant population too. But who cares?
Well, that's what.
Well, the strong will survive.
The strong survive. Exactly.
Good point. Good point.
So that happens. Great. We're tearing up everything. We show up in Egypt. We're all there. Hooray! Here's where it starts getting foggy. Because the third
they were like,
it's
yeah,
the climax.
that's bad.
It's the fight scene.
They put him in
Yeah.
the thing.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of quote
Yeah.
unquote good dialogue going on in the fucking helicopter between all the different
Sure.
the new first class.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's like, we
Second
call ourselves
class.
X-Men and stuff like
But
that.
I feel like they didn't get trained at all.
No.
At
No.
all to fight.
But they all have
Like,
cool
it was-
powers, so.
It was Cyclops' like first day.
But we got that right.
But
Like
now
we
it's like,
actually
yeah.
saw him. And they have that great back and forth where he's like, "Hey, I don't know how to use my powers. I can't hold back." She's like, "Then
Don't
like,
hold back.
Fuck people up."
Yeah, but that
And he's
line
like,
was such
"All right."
bullshit because he was like, "No, I just don't
Yeah,
understand
I'm
how
really
they work
scared.
at all."
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
It's the
Is it
third
heat or
time using
concussive?
this.
I don't know.
Ruby
But I
Quartz
do-
stops it. What?
I do want to. I know we're lying to there. I do want to give a shout out to the dialogue where they're like, you know, you really like the day we saw you, it changed all of our lives. And
Yeah, that was
Quicksilver's
cool.
Like,
That was
yeah,
cool.
it definitely changed my life. Except I still live with my mom. I'm
Yeah,
still a loser.
I'm a total
Actually,
loser.
nothing changed
Didn't
for
really
me.
change,
Nothing
yeah.
changed for me at all.
That's great. That's good
good.
stuff. So yeah, we get there and now let's break into teams. Down in the basement again, Xavier's about to get old Apocalypse into his mind. And then Magneto's doing his shit. So Mystique's like, Quicksilver, get me up there. We'll talk to Eric. We'll figure that out. Great. Everybody else get down there and try to help or do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. I don't remember. We run over there, Mystique and Quicksilver, and Mystique is talking to Eric, and she's like, "Hey, yo, man, I know it hurts and shit, but like, don't tear the metal out of everything. That's weird. We have a family. It's us, and it's Charles, and like, Mystique, you don't believe that. You don't even say it's your home. All right, shucking fuck
Also,
up.
he's like not even paying attention to her. He's just like, I'm in my thing. I'm doing
Yeah,
my
yeah.
fucking thing.
Very weird.
Like, was he in a trance? What the fuck was
I don't
that?
He's
know.
just at the end of his rope, man.
Didn't
He's
make
lost it all.
sense.
And then he looks at Quicksilver like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "For my family too." It's like, "Fucking tell me you're dead."
You
This is a
almost said
stupid
it.
Move.
You almost said
Why?
it.
What a
Why
dumb
wouldn't
move.
he just say
What a
that?
dumb
really
fucking move.
stupid. Really
Yeah.
stupid.
Like, why don't you
That
go,
makes
hey,
no
you're my
sense.
dad. You have family left. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
We can just stop this right now.
You kid about fucking Snow White. I'm cool.
So Nightcrawler is trying to infiltrate into the basement. Everybody else is fighting outside and just having mutant fights out there. Great for them.
Cool fights.
No, they weren't.
I don't know.
Some were.
Psylocke, man,
Useless.
she sucked. I hated her.
Yeah. The Storm stuff was cool though. Like I actually felt like Storm actually did cool Storm shit in this. And by that I mean she actually electrocuted people and shocked people and like flew and all that cool stuff. I was like, that's pretty dope.
I thought the Quicksilver fights were the only interesting bits in any of this.
I don't even remember what he did. He didn't even fight in this, right?
He
Did
fights
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse
We'll get there.
later.
We'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So so we're taking over Xavier. It started. The transfer starting. Oh my god, transferring. And then Nightcrawler goes down there and bamps out with Xavier.
There's an important thing though.
Sure, lay it on me.
He becomes bald.
Yeah.
Oh right,
We
yeah.
needed
He
the
starts
origin
going
story
bald.
of how that happened.
Yeah.
And that's what they gave us. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, clearly he wasn't losing his hair. Like this guy's like
He
mid
loves his
30s,
hair.
and he's
Sure,
got
yeah.
a fucking thick, no receding
Well,
hairline.
we
So
see Patrick
something
Stewart
had to
next.
happen.
Like in this one, he looks like he's in his like you're right, early to mid 30s. We see Patrick Stewart next. The first time we see, he looks like he's 87 years old. So he could have just lost his fucking hair in his 30s.
I mean, the first time you see Charles Xavier, played by,
Patrick Stewart.
is in the end of Days of Future Past. Many years have gone. Forget everything you know.
Oh, forget everything.
Forget
you
everything
fucking
you
know.
know,
Mom, forget
everybody.
Your dad, forget your brothers.
An anamantium bullet.
Forget
Just
them all, man.
erase
Forget
everything.
Fuck
How
him.
old would he be though in this movie?
Well, let's put it this way.
Because he's
in this time period. Remember when he went to go visit Jean Grey for the first time with Magneto and they're old as fuck?
Well, no, but
Forget everything
that's
you know!
But this is stuff that we're still supposed to know. So in first class, it's like he's graduating grad school.
Yeah,
Right.
so
He's like 26.
Late
Mid to late
20s
20s.
in the 60s.
Yeah.
In the
Then he hit
80s,
the
yeah.
70s, then he's 30s.
They put some white hair.
So he
in
was in
there.
his
Late-
40s.
late
Mid
30s,
to late
early
40s. in
They
this
put some
thing.
white hair in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not nearly old enough.
I didn't forget, Greg.
You never do. You
know.
didn't forget everything you know.
Fuck
You
no,
know
I
what
didn't.
So they get him out, and Apocalypse wakes up, and he's like, "I'm mad about this, everybody!" And he goes outside, and then everybody's fighting and shit. But then most of them have lost by now. It's kind of ended. Yeah. And
Should have picked
And
stronger
Xavier's like,
mutants.
I'm
you
still
know?
in his brain, and it's like that didn't work out well the first time you tried this.
yeah.
Why would it work
Xavier's
out
up
well
in
the
the
second
thing
time?
there. Yeah.
he
Oh,
gets-
and I left out the part where Nightcrawler they bamfed into the jet to get out of there.
Right.
Then that thing started going down, and they bamfed out of the jet. That's where Angel dies. He's in the jet. Trying to stop him. Cyclops is on top. Cyclops just jumps off at the last second and
Psylocke.
stabs a wall.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. And slides. I'm just gonna from here on. Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn slides down the wall and lands on the ground.
Yeah.
Angel dies. They bamf out. Nightcrawler passes out. They're in just an apartment building there. Apocalypse is outside. He's gonna fight people. Quicksilver shows up.
But this is the thing. Olivia Munn falls, looks over, and goes, "Can't win this one. I'm gonna bounce." But
Doesn't really
moments
bounce.
ago was so committed to the cause
She
that I
stays
was
around
ready
to
to
watch.
help destroy fucking
But she
the
was
entire
holding on to
world.
the fucking
The entire
jet.
world. But I look over, now Apocalypse is coming out to fuck people up, and I'm like, this is too much for me. The guy who can kill all these people is too much for me. I gotta go.
Apocalypse comes out, looks at Angel, and goes, useless, right? And Storm, behind Apocalypse, hears him and is just like, well, he clearly doesn't care about us. I think I'm going to switch sides.
No, not yet. She switches sides, actually, when she sees Mystique.
She's thinking it though.
And
she's
goes,
thinking
oh, that's my hero.
thinking
I'm
it.
fighting for the wrong
thank
side.
you.
That's what starts that. Oh, thanks,
That's
big
like
guy.
one of the only
got it.
complete arcs,
Yeah,
really.
that actually kind of worked me in that
Yeah.
like you go from being a street kid who's
Interesting,
got
yeah.
nothing and is like always in danger, and this one person comes to find you, and you're like, okay, this guy clearly cares about me. To oh shit, I'm fighting for the wrong side, and that's almost forgivable. Were it not for the fact that you just fucking helped kill millions of people. Storm just helped kill millions of people.
Aurora. Or whatever her name is.
So, anyways, this is where you get your fight scene. Apocalypse comes out. Quicksilver runs around, punch. And it's fun. It's cool, and it's like, yeah, Quicksilver,
But
get
it
him.
doesn't look like it's hurting Apocalypse.
Of course, it
at all,
doesn't
yeah.
hurt him. Of course, it wouldn't. Why would they think any of this would work?
Punch him into a fucking sharp thing.
Fucking
or
punch through his
something.
chest
He's
and
got the
vibrate.
Wolverine
We've all
power,
fucking
though.
watched
It's not gonna matter.
JLA. We know what Flash can do. But no, Apocalypse eventually is like, fuck this, and does the wide eye shit, and like fucking freezes one of his foot in the sand mud, and then breaks his other leg. And you're like, yeah, fuck
that was
yeah,
fucked up.
brutal,
Fucked up.
brutal, but good, yeah.
His one weakness, broken legs.
And then more people start coming out and fighting him, and they're blasting him and doing stuff, and he's just taking it like a champ.
because he goes like he pulls it back and goes kill him, and Psylocke comes back out, right?
Ugh.
And it's like, oh, that's cool. She actually didn't like take off. She's here, and they got me again.
They
It's not
gotcha.
Psylocke.
They
It's not
gotcha.
Psylocke. Did you see it coming?
Good old. No, I didn't.
Cuts his throat. Was
No
like,
blood.
Yeah, you're fucking
no
dead.
blood at all.
And then his throat comes back together, and it turns out it's Mystique.
Yeah.
And he grabs Mystique. by
He's
the
like,
throat.
Charles!
That
And
throat cut
Charles
is
like,
brutal,
fuck
man.
it, I still am connected to him. I'm going in
going
there.
in.
And he's like, you're in my house now. And he's like, you're gonna need a bigger
And
house.
it's like, hey, we need to make it literal. So let's be in the mansion.
Yeah.
So they all start fighting in there, and he gets big like you wanted. You
Which I
finally
thought
get-
was
you
cool.
finally got
I
your big
love that because
Apocalypse.
I saw
I
that
like
in the
that
trailer.
too.
I was like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
It should be getting big.
was
Instead,
just
we
a
keep
dream
cutting back to
sequence.
him. 5'6", 5'7".
And
Oscar Isaac,
while
just
this fight is
not
going on,
imposing at all.
inside, outside, they're blasting him with a bunch of different powers, and he's just fucking taking it like a champ. And then Charles is like, Jean Grey, let go. And Jean's like, fuck, I gotta let go. So she goes in that dream too, and she's like, what's up? It's me, Jean Grey.
Sansa here.
I'm gonna
Want to say hi?
I'm gonna let go.
Which I like this moment. It's not earned, but it still got me. Where he's staring at the fucking hallway to Cerebro, the doorway to Cerebro, and he's like, "You gotta let go." Meanwhile, did we get the X?
Yeah,
we did get the X,
Magneto's
yeah.
like,
That's
I
how-
guess
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give up on this thing too. I
You're
was
right.
so
No,
committed to it
yeah,
5
yeah,
seconds
yeah.
ago, but now
Well-
the person who was pleading with me is now dying. So I guess I care about her now. Bing, bing, X. I'm throwing all sorts of shit at you, which is cool because he's like, clearly this is not working. Doesn't matter. And like it's burning off, and I was like, that's a cool effect. Beast grabs a thing and takes it, and it's fucking, let's shoot at him, and that's cool. And then, but none of this is working at all. And then he's staring down the hallway, right? Professor X in the dream world, in the fucking Freddy Krueger dream world, staring down the hallway, and the door opens up, and she just walks out like a boss. And I'm like, That actually kind of is cool. That was actually kind of cool. And we're seeing her walk in the mind as she's walking in real life. It's
Yeah, but it's terrible. In real life, it's terrible.
Dude, I loved it. I loved her when she fucking walked and just kept walking in the air. I'm like, this is fucking cool. Everything you just said, I agree with. Where it's like not earned. Absolutely not earned, but
still dope.
If it was earned and if you pretended it was earned, it's like
I just chose to believe.
She lets go, does the fire eyes, does the fucking Phoenix thing, screams a lot, and then like he's in fucking Oscar Isaac. He's been
Phoenix
blasted
Ball.
and he's stabbed through the chest a bunch, and then she just burns them all away, and he's gone.
Doesn't he
that's
say
it.
something?
End of apocalypse.
Doesn't he?
No, he
He's like,
says,
oh,
like-
it's all clear or something.
He says something.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense.
It's all been revealed.
That's it.
I just like the Dragon Ball Z blasting, fighting like everybody. All five.
You like that?
Yeah, it's just like it was so anime.
So now we get some news reports that thank Christ we didn't all die. Just a lot of people died, and it's going to take us decades to recover from
But
this and all our
mutants
shit.
saved us.
But mutants, once again, could have been the problem, but they also were the solution. You know what I mean? Shout out to fucking muties. But there's a debate about muties, but shout out to muties. Well, debate, but we go back to the mansion. You got Magneto. You got Jean Grey. They're rebuilding this fucking thing. I don't know where Jean Grey got her fucking carpentry license. She knows. I wouldn't. Sure, I can move things around like Legos, but you're telling me I know how to install a fucking toilet drain? I don't know what I'm doing
Also,
in there.
she's not that good at using her powers. Like, how do you get all that into place?
Well,
with
now
the
she's
nails
let go.
and
Forget what
now
you know.
she's let go.
Forget what you know.
As well. Too.
Yeah.
Forget your parents.
2 points.
Forget
You know
your
what I mean?
fucking extended
And so we're
family.
standing there, and like
Forget
somebody
your
else
VHS
walks up to
collection.
Quicksilver. I don't even remember.
It was
like,
Will I Am in the Will I Am cut.
No, it might have been Storm.
Yeah. Let's get it.
And they're like, hey, isn't this
isn't your-
exactly how Apocalypse did this? This is weird. Maybe it's a bad sign.
They're like, hey, that's your dad, right? And I'm like, yeah, random person we really haven't talked. I'm glad this rumor's already making it around the school. I'm glad everybody knows that, yeah, my dad's Magneto, except me talking to my dad, Magneto. Yeah, it's him. I don't know if I'm going to say anything because I'm Quicksilver and I want to be a bitch for some reason. So what about you, Storm? And I'm going to stick around for a while. All right, Crew, that's cool. Yeah.
It'd be real cool if we got the end of that story thread, right? Where he actually has that nice conversation with
Yeah.
his dad, where he's
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
Dad. He's like, hey, man, I do have family after all. Maybe I'll be a good guy. Totally cool. They showed that.
So now we're back downstairs in the reassembled hallways. And they're getting ready for something in that danger room. What's going on there? I don't know. We won't see it. And it's fucking McAvoy dressed just like Xavier. We know and love Patrick Stewart, bald as hell, sitting there talking to Magneto like, yeah, man, we did it.
Just the most casual. Hey, man. It's really. What are you gonna do this weekend? Maybe I'll see Mission
Murder more
Impossible.
people.
Don't
You down
suppose
for
I can.
some chess? Yeah,
Yes, cool.
probably.
Can I
That's
keep
okay.
you to stay around? I can't convince you to stay around. You can convince me to do everything you want. All right, cool. Like,
It's actually
fucking-
probably good that you don't stay around though. What with you being a fucking international terrorist who just killed half the world is probably very, very
They're
wanted.
coming after you.
It's
Before
dope
the-
that you're sitting outside helping us rebuild though.
Before this, Charles did give Moira her memories back of Cube and all that shit and on the beach or whatever. Which if I was Moira, I'd be pretty fucking pissed about.
Very
pretty
upset.
fucking pissed about.
Hey, I'm not just gonna have a tear here for what.
I feel like my life was never right, and now I know why because you ripped out this huge verse.
actually live a lie.
Do you remember when she was like, I don't really remember what happens, and all the asshole guys around the table were like, hey, women, they shouldn't work
exactly.
here.
Yeah,
You
fucked
clearly
up.
held my
You
career
set
back by 10
all
years.
these
you
women.
fucking asshole.
Yeah. Magneto bounces. We get to go into the danger room, and it's Mystique. She's sticking around. It is home after all, Raven. Yay! And
Doesn't
she's gonna.
she actually say, forget everything you've learned?
She does.
Forget
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you know?
Forget everything from school. And they're like, we're in school, but whatever. Okay, cool. And like, no, we're going to fucking fight shit. And you're going to learn to fight
points.
shit. You know what I mean? It's danger room time. And then they spin the camera around and everybody's in really cool suits. Everybody's in their cool fucking
I'm gonna
suits.
fucking say
Fucking
it.
dope.
I don't give a shit. That was awesome.
Fucking dope.
So fucking awesome. And it does what these movies do best, which is make me want the next one. And it sucks that we're not gonna ever get it. And if we do, it's
might
like,
already get it.
Right.
we'll see.
I thought it
We're
was
Dark
very
Phoenix.
clear that it wasn't canceled, Dark Phoenix.
That's
No,
what
it's
they
not-
said
it's not
before
clear.
Disney had like finalized everything.
I
know,
think
there's-
this movie's gonna end up happening. Are we gonna actually end up seeing them in cool suits doing cool things?
Okay.
That's what I'm questioning.
Okay.
What was cool was Mystique had a little bit of the flair of the white suit that
Yeah.
she's in the
There's a
comics,
lot of bit of the flair.
which was cool. And then we see
Quicksilver
it's one of
suit
those
was
things
cool.
where when they made the original X-Men, you were like, "There's no way." They even had the line where like, "What do you want, spandex?"
Yellow
or something like
spandex.
that. And then you see Scott Summers turn around and he's got that fucking iconic
So
like
fucking
the,
cool.
the X with the little
And
X-Men here and the fucking
his
and
optic
it
blast thing
just
looks
looks
perfect.
fucking dope.
Yeah.
So
So like, how did you
freaking
not
cool.
just do that back in
Yeah.
the day? Like, why wouldn't you just do that? Try it at least.
Because it was a different time. Forget everything
you know, Greg.
And Magneto, or no, I'm sorry, Professor X looks at it, door closes. There you go, credits. This is from Bryan Singer. Great, awesome, great. And then our after credit scene after a long credit roll.
You get a little the SX Corporation.
What is that?
Mr. Sinister.
Okay.
He's in Deadpool too.
Which
I think this leads
Into
to
Logan.
Logan. Yeah.
This is them
The
getting.
cloning.
This is them getting the blood that then will lead to X-23
Yeah,
and
that's
Logan.
what I
or whatever.
figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it because I don't remember this scene. But I remember Logan. Is it the S6 Corporation that
I would
one guy with the
assume it is.
robot arm
I
works
don't
for?
remember,
right?
but I would
Well,
assume
no,
so.
But they had,
Well,
multiple,
no,
they had
two
multiple
ish.
different vials of different colors that you
Well,
assume
yeah,
were
other
from
mutants.
different mutants, right?
Yeah.
So, which I guess their
It
blood's
wasn't-
different colors than everyone else's blood.
Depends on your mutation. Some people have different color skin, Nick.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
It's true. It's true.
We all bleed blue. We
And
all
that's the
bleed
end.
blue.
That's X-Men Apocalypse.
All right. Great film.
Was
No
it?
plot holes to that whatsoever.
Ragu Bagu.
Don't even read the list, Greg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you gonna do the theme song or no?
Dun 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 down.
Ragu.
Dun 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 down.
Wicked Bagu.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to a podcast within a podcast, Ragu Bagu Vids. This is where it's rad guys on bad guys, and we rank all the villains from the MCU, the XCU, and any other random movie we've seen. Remember, at the end of XCU and review, we are clearing the list because it's gotten unwieldy. We have 28 slots on it. If you want to run the Ragu Bagu Vids account and tweet whatever you want for $69, go to patreon.com/kindoffunny.
I put him on number 22 underneath Loki from Thor and above who's number 23 or above Magneto and Phoenix from Last Stand.
Yeah, sure.
So okay, and we're putting in Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
So right now, 28 is these fucks from Thor 2. 27, these ducks from Wolverine. Number 26, Abomination. Number 25, Ronan from Guardians. Number 24, Cross from Ant-Man. Number 23, that lady from Ghost. Number 22, Magneto/Phoenix X3. Number 21, Loki Thor. Above that is Obadiah Stane.
Damn, actually maybe underneath Ronan from Guardians.
See, that's my thing is I like Cross from Ant-Man better than I like Apocalypse. I
hate
enjoy that
Cross
one. I
so
know you
much,
hate him,
though.
and I know that's a hard thing to say, but
Yeah.
Which for a second I thought it was a Thai lady. Thai lady from Ghost.
I agree with that. Number 20, we'll put him at 26, underneath Ronan, above Abomination.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay.
Is it voting time?
It is voting time. Cool, Greg. You're needed. So
This
we can
is a
rank.
hard one.
It's an interesting one, yeah. I don't know. We are going to. Can you pull up the rankings, Joe? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joey.
The current rankings of the X-Men Cinematic Universe are as follows. Number 1, X-Men Days of Future Past. Number 2, Deadpool. Number 3, The Wolverine. Number 4, X-Men First Class. Number 5, X2. Number 6, X-Men The Last Stand. Number 7, X-Men. And number 8, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
This is a weird one for me because of how the rankings fell. I like this movie more than The Wolverine, but I don't like it more than First Class. So I think I'm going to put it underneath First Class at number 5 above X2.
That's what I thought as well. I think that's where I should put it. I do not like this movie, but I hate those movies more.
And I think I enjoyed it. I don't know why. I still didn't hate the movie. I think it could have been because it was the first time I was watching it. But I also just watched The Wolverine for the first time, and that as that was happening, I was like, I don't like this movie at all. And I think again, you guys didn't like Oscar Isaac's performance. I kind of enjoyed it, and I thought he was better than any of the villains in The Wolverine. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it was just new, uncharted territory. I was like excited to see what these characters did. And even though it wasn't always the best result, I was still enjoying the anticipation.
Man, this movie gets points because it is a modern movie at the very least. So like I feel in many ways it's better than the original trilogy of X-Men movies.
And I still think Fassbender and McAvoy are great.
But I feel like the characters just aren't consistent, or at least Magneto's isn't, and that's a big deal.
Agreed.
And I feel like nothing about this movie, like no aspect of it, is as good as First Class or Days of Future Past in terms of their performances or the story they're trying to do or the bad guy or any of the things.
Yeah, of course.
I honestly put this at number 7 above the original X-Men.
Whoa.
Underneath
Wait,
X2 and
what is
X-Men
your
The Last
hard
Stand.
on for The Last Stand?
You thought the last stand was better than this movie?
That both X2 and Last Stand presented interesting like story dilemmas and plot points that were like cool things. Like again, I understand Last Stand sucks, but I still like the idea of the cure, and I liked how they handled it in bits and pieces. I didn't like anything about the way they handled Apocalypse. And X2, obviously, very cool story. It was just, if it was a modern movie, I think X2 would be a lot
you
better.
kidding me? Yeah.
But it's not, so it's really low.
It's a hard one for me, man. I don't have a horse in this race. I gotta be honest with you. I can
you
put
still
this
gotta
anywhere.
vote, though,
I know.
so-
For me,
I'm conflicted.
I'm back and forth between being at number 6 or being at number 5.
yeah.
I
would see
love
that.
the story of X2. And I think there's a lot of cool moments in X2. The whole, when they try to take the house.
Bad moments though.
It's every one of these
movies,
movies, right?
I know. It's a bad universe.
I'm right there with you. Right now, I'm trying to decide: do we give the nod to X2? Should we say that X2 is a better, because X2 is a better start to finish film than this one. This one
Agreed.
just has more fun moments with it.
Yeah.
I think this one just has, like, obviously because it's 10 years newer or whatever it is, 6-7 years newer, that we get that cool Quicksilver thing. We get the 80s, which, you know, you're fucking tugging on my heartstrings, my nostalgia there, because
they don't even use it
love
enough, though.
But yeah, it's not really a set piece in the whole thing. I don't know, man. Yeah, originally I was like, maybe we should put it right below First Class, but I'm thinking maybe X2 has to be a little elevated above it. Just for being what Tim said, a start to finish complete movie that actually does something.
I was still more entertained with this one all the way through, like more than X2.
I think that's the
but I
ultimate-
think that makes.
It does. I give it credit for that, but I also take it away because, like I said earlier, it's like when you had First Class set this foundation and Days of Future Past step it up a bit, and for this to drop the ball so hard, I feel like this movie did the Apocalypse storyline as poorly as Last Stand did the Phoenix storyline, and that sucks for a movie that came out in 2016.
It's crazy.
You know, like keeping. I know, like comparing it to MCU is like almost a null point, but by 2016, think of all the MCU movies that have come out that this movie could have learned from. And didn't at all.
I say number 6.
So okay,
X2 in front.
Let's vote. Is it better than X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Yes.
Yes, we've all raised our hands.
Is it better than X-Men 1? I say yes. Everyone says yes. Is it better than X-Men The Last Stand?
I'll give it a yes.
Everyone but me raised their hand. Is it better than X2? Andy and Kev raised their hand. The new ranking of the X-Men Cinematic Universe is number 1, X-Men Days of Future Past. Number 2, Deadpool. Number 3, The Wolverine. Number 4, X-Men First Class. Number 5, X2. Number 6, X-Men Apocalypse. Number 7, X-Men The Last Stand. Number 8, X-Men. And number 9, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Next week, we are reviewing Logan. And man, I cannot wait for this. Because I remember watching that movie in theaters, and obviously it's a great movie, but just the celebration of how far we've come with these characters. And now that we've rewatched them all week to week, I can't wait to see all the little shit that I missed out the first go around.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't seen it.
How they've gone back on it and like ignored this and done
Whatever
that.
it is,
Pick and choose.
I don't know if there's going to be that many things where you're like, oh, that ties aside from like Caliban. Who,
See,
like,
my thing is, I feel like being able to watch Logan with all the references they make, like that's more like background storytelling stuff. I think I'm gonna catch it in a way that reminds me of watching Age of Ultron again, where like they're talking about Wakanda, they're talking about all this stuff that when I watched it the first time.
I'm saying I don't think that there's
was
going to be
irrelevant.
anywhere near as much like this. The XCU has made a terrible shit job of like tying together stories. Like with Days of Future Past, we had a little bit of those memories and like connections to other movies, but they don't respect this universe, and neither should we.
Yeah, that's my big question is when watching Logan, now having watched these, because I watched it yesterday, we're going to watch Logan tonight, is this going to feel like it's an actual part of this world? And that was my reaction the first time. I was like, this does not feel like watching Logan for the first time. Like this stands out as just a completely, totally unique.
But I think they try
by
to
itself.
do that shit in the interviews leading up to it, right? Of like, well, it isn't necessarily in the same timeline or da 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 da.
That's fair. But that's what I'm looking
Or
forward
put it
to
in the
Logan.
fucking
That's the
universe.
thing.
As a standalone, like this is just a quick story about like these few characters. I'm looking forward to it.
The whole like big twist and surprise, like I'm not gonna say it because if people haven't watched it, but like the like kind of
Let's just
makes
save
it
it
so
for
the
next week.
connection
Let's just
to
make it
these
next
movies
week.
isn't
We can
very
talk about all this
strong.
next
I
week.
haven't-
You know?
I haven't
Until
seen
then,
it yet.
next
Have
week.
an excellent day.